Greetings. What's up?
Howdy, everybody. Oh, God. This is your boy, Ryan.
It's your boy, Easy.
And you're listening to the Internet Day, the world's only listener-supported podcast dedicated to the ongoing journey of the TMNT all the way from the very beginning until my son stops playing that Spider-Man 2, bro.
Oh, no.
And
Spider-Man
probably
2.
never going to be happening until Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3.
So we got some time because it takes them a long time to make those games.
Oh,
so,
of course. Yeah. I
mean,
we'll
get there.
You know, that's nuts.
We are finally getting to doing another episode.
We
We appreciate your patience through this time. We've blown through deadlines. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But we are also live on YouTube at the moment. So if you're watching, be sure to subscribe. And if you have already, then share the stream so people know that we're live and we can get some more Turtletarians in here. Speaking of two Turtletarians that are basically God tier. I mean, I was going to say that. Like there's S tier and then there's God tier.
Yep.
If I'm doing a tier list, you know what I mean? Like these two fellas are the first people I put up top. There's no question.
Right.
Like video's over. You know what I mean? And that's going to be Noah Overton and Christopher LaFave. And I was actually just on Noah's podcast, How He Sees It, which you can find everywhere podcasts are available. We did an episode on The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. And I had a lot of fun on it. Steve and Noah are great guys. And actually Bo, their friend Bo, joined us as well. And he was very knowledgeable. And we just had a really good time. So if you're a fan of The Thing or movies in general, I know they cover a lot of Marvel stuff and stuff like that, then definitely hop on there if you want to hear me flap my gums about one of my favorite horror movies. I do a lot. I talk a lot about it.
I've heard you talk a lot about it, and that's what got me to like it because I watched it and I loved it.
It's just so good.
Yeah, I should have been there, but my anxiety got me. That thing where wherever you have an anxiety attack and you're telling yourself, I'm not going to answer them yet because I think I'll be over it and I can make it happen. I can make it happen, but I can't do it right now. That's what happened. And then it's like last minute and I'm still thinking, I'm like, no, I still might be able to do it. I'll tell. And then, it's the stupid stuff in your head. Yeah. So Noah, sorry about that, but thanks for having Ryan on. Cause I can't think of anyone better to be on for that.
I feel like we're like twin linked boys. You know what I mean? Because my anxiety's been a lot too lately. And that hasn't really been why the show hasn't happened actually.
No.
Despite what we're going through. It's just been, a British calendar was involved.
Absolutely.
So you can blame them. And a lot of other stuff, but we're glad to be back. And once again, I really have to stop and thank everybody for their patience with it. We are making some changes, which you're about to hear about when Eric talks about what we're doing tonight.
Indeed.
We're trying to, move things along a little bit. There was no pregame show tonight because we're trying to kind of like put more time into getting episodes out and making that more convenient. Not that we may never do pre-games again,
right?
We very well can. But especially for what we're covering tonight and trying to do for you guys, we wanted to make sure we had a clear runway to do that. And I appreciate everything. So, Eric, what are we going to attempt to appreciate tonight? What is the appreciation?
I love that.
What is our offering to the Turtletarians tonight?
Our offering to the Turtletarians tonight is to join us on a trip back in time, 1998, which I'm not entirely sure if we've stepped into this year. It's been very little, if at all. And
I don't know. I think our farthest was 97. The
image books might have done it.
Maybe.
Regardless, 1998, a wonderful year, and
1998 was great.
It was absolutely. I think universally.
I wore a lot of CK1 in that era.
Did you?
I smelled real good.
Oh, that's cool. I took baths.
That was part of the fit.
Yeah.
That was part of the fit.
I probably wore Brute because that's what my dad had. It burned a little, so it felt like you were paying the penance for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're paying the iron price to smell like a man.
To smell like 100%. A man. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. I don't know why my mom wore it, but Dad definitely did. But still, the Turtles probably did too. And in 98, the Turtles you would have been smelling that on would have been from the Next Mutation television series, which on February 6th, 1998, they aired episode 13, Unchanged My Heart Part 1. And then on February 13th, 1998, they aired Part 2 of this Unchain My Heart miniseries, little four-parter, if you will. And that's what we're going to be covering tonight, episodes 13 and 14 of Ninja Turtles Next Mutation. So
well, they probably needed some brute to cover up that stinky smell of that heart. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We
that's
learn
true.
a lot that
Yeah.
heart that they're in possession of. I mean, it like reeks
I mean,
apparently. You know what I mean? Like
it made Venus's whole box smell. You know what I'm saying? So, just
yeah.
yeesh.
So the garbage portion of this show is going to be pretty short. But Eric, I have to know
Oh,
what in the hell is that?
oh, this. Oh, my hat,
Yeah.
my mushroom cap hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the audio
What are
listeners. What
those?
are those?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, between the last recording and this time that we're doing it now, my wife did a market on her own. Like we've done like pop-up markets and things like that where other people have had our stuff, or we've been vendors at their markets, like the punk rock flea market they do in Lakeland and different areas around here. But this was one that my wife and her friend Shannon, also named Shannon, but not my wife. Yes, if that's confusing, enjoy that. So
Yep.
they both put on this thing and orchestrated and everything, and they had me be DJ Toadstool, a fun guy, and yeah. This was
Nice.
my hat that my wife made me out of cardboard and doilies and whatever this stuff is. So
Look,
yeah,
there you go.
and we've talked countless times on this show about how it's impossible for me to find a hat that fits, and finally, I mean, I got me one, Ryan. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
yeah,
so
it's big
here,
enough.
Here, watch. I'd turn it backwards too. Check that out.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
You like it? Yeah.
Nice.
See, it's cool. I
It's
could be cool.
important. Yeah,
I could be cool.
It's party in the front, party in the back.
Absolutely, just party all the way around. But yeah, we did this market and it was awesome, and a ton of people came out. It was people said it was like Ren Fair-esque, but not like in the annoying ways, and it was more like kind of woodland fairy.
So nobody was eating a turkey leg over a garbage can, dressed in pants that had a little pocket for their junk that stuck outside their pants.
Not that I saw. Not that I saw. But
Okay.
yeah.
Well, it wasn't Ren. It wasn't Ren Fair.
It wasn't. Right. Like I said, all the parts that weren't annoying. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, tons of people, like an ungodly amount of people, like the kind of event that when you close your eyes and you just still see people, like when you play Tetris too long, but instead of blocks, it's people. Yeah, that's kind of what it was, and it was awesome, and tons of good response. And we're gonna do it again in February, and yeah, it was pretty wild and.
Nice.
I don't know, but it was neat, and I was DJ Toadstool playing all the music, and like as a DJ, not like actually with my I was trying to think of a Renaissance type instrument. I was about to say lute, but I don't think that's it.
Yep.
Is that okay? Because for some reason
back in the Renaissance.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For some reason my brain's like that's obviously not true, and then here we are.
Play a dulcimer.
The adults. That's yeah. Didn't we have to make those in art school? Didn't we make those? Or
I think we did a version of that. You made like thumb pianos.
That's what I'm thinking. Yes,
like bits of metal.
Yes,
that's another one.
Right, and yeah. So that was legit, and then yeah, that explains the hat. But I'm gonna take it off because it's no cap. You know what I'm saying? No cap.
No cap. No,
mushroom cap for the kids out there. But yeah, and then real quick, the only other thing I've been doing is we got ready for this other market on Friday the 13th that we did on the 14th.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, let's watch Friday the 13th. So then we just started watching all of the Friday the 13th movies, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun, but they're not great. They're interesting,
they're slashers.
Weird way.
They are.
Yeah, but I guess the thing is that like when I was a kid, I was terrified of it. And now as an adult, I'm like, oh, this is more funny than it is anything. However, I'm wondering how much of that is that like I'm an adult now and I can fight back potentially. Not that I could beat a Jason Voorhees or his mom.
Can't get Jason, yeah.
True, but still, I could at least like make some executive decisions and kind of use my intellect to get out of a situation more so than I probably could have as a child. But nevertheless, I still think there was something else to it, and I think it's just that like I'm more scared of normal people than I am of like supernatural things. If that makes any sense, because I think we with the Mist shows that it's the scary thing is the people that are just normal and
100%.
yeah. So I think that just our culture's obsession with murderers and killers and stuff like that kind of diluted that whole thing, at least for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
So yeah, there's something in there with that, but it was neat, like going through and watching them to a degree, just kind of like revisiting some stuff. Did not remember Crispin Glover being in any of them, but sure enough, he was.
Yeah,
and that was wild. But now I'm thinking that we're gonna watch. We started watching Fall of House of Usher, which is really good. And
I've been needing to get to that because I'm a huge Mike Flanagan fan.
Yeah,
so
they're fantastic, and everything I've seen from them I've loved.
Yeah,
and but then as far as like older like horror movies, I don't know. Shannon, my wife, she's never seen any of them. So this was her first foray into it. And I've seen a bunch of them, but I think back in the day, Freddy and Michael Myers usually got me more than Jason ever did, though. What about you?
Yeah, Freddy got to get you on the psychological horror part. Like Nightmare on Elm Street's got you on that. And then yeah, something about Halloween like still freaks me out a little bit.
I felt like Jason and Michael Myers were very similar. Like they had they had the, generally a knife or whatever, but and they stood pretty tall and they would just walk places and whatnot.
And they have like the blue jumpsuit and stuff. They're some with a mask. I mean,
right.
They're pretty
similar.
Yeah.
But like something about, I remember watching Halloween as a kid, and then I would see his mask everywhere. Michael Myers, just like, like not physically, not literally, but like I would think I would see it in the bushes just over like as I'm walking home.
Yeah, they did really cool cinematically where he's kind of like pops out of nowhere, or he's like farther away. I think that's like part of the genius that like John Carpenter had, is that like the form steps out from behind the bushes or behind a tree, and he's far off.
Right.
But like I think that's what makes it scarier.
Oh yeah.
In a way. Also the tone is different. So the tone of the Friday the 13th movies is like all these kids at camp are having fun, doing teenager shit, smoking weed, having sex, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then Jason comes and ruins it. Whereas the tone of Halloween is like, it's kind of dark to start with. Like people are doing normal things, but there's this like something about the music and something about the way it's shot. It just feels like, oh, this is all going to go down. Like all these people are going to die. The minute you meet a character, you're like, well, unless it's Laurie Strode, like they're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that like Friday the 13th definitely hit more of the slasher thing, where it's more like, no, like these teenagers do wild stuff and then they get killed, right? Yeah. So the tone is different. Maybe that's why like Halloween scares you a little more than like Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I think
the tone in Friday the 13th is lighter,
right? Because I remember. Yeah, I remember like watching them and then thinking that like they would have all the stuff with his doctor and they're explaining his like mental illness and stuff. And I'm like, oh, Jason didn't really get into any of that.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, no, there's that whole thing too. You have like Sam Loomis, who's like literally like seen Michael from this time, and he has an origin.
Yeah,
Michael has an origin story. You see in the beginning of the first Halloween movie, like know what he did. He's basically the devil, and he kind of can't be killed, and it's scary. Jason has no origin. Well, he does, but you know what I mean. Like it's not the same. Where it's like it started off as like a real like psychological case. It's more like they mistreated him. Yeah, he drowned. Now he's gonna kill everybody. It's like okay,
right.
Like it's different.
I almost dropped the Turtles Come Out and Fight Jason Voorhees, but we don't have time.
We can get on that.
I don't know if we got time.
No. We can just put it in the spank bank. You know
I'm gonna write it down.
We'll get her back
because we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
But and again, y'all, let me know like who's your favorite horror guy, gal, whatever, and which ones do you want the Turtles to come out and fight? Let us know. TurtleSoupShow@gmail.com.
We could do a special. We could do a Halloween show special, maybe in next week or something, and we could like just get chat and say like, okay, we'll do Turtles Come Out and Fight, like literally any spoopy boy that you want us to fight. Like
that sounds amazing.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
That totally sounds like a lot of fun.
I'd love to do the thing from the thing. Because like it's somewhat like there's a scientific angle, so like Donnie could have something to do with that. So yeah, we definitely need to run that. We'll run that next week. We'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. There was something I was going to say about like that, but it sounds like like appropriating the Turtles in like an anthology kind of thing. Like that's kind of neat. Like in like a horror anthology, like they just got to take on everybody. I kind of love that. I'm surprised no one's done that yet. as far as like,
Hey, you know, the 2012 show had Halloween episodes where
oh,
like
you're right.
they had the
It
one
did.
episode that was like aping Alien
Yeah,
and stuff. So they did play with the genre.
that's true.
But given that we haven't really sat down and reviewed that, maybe we don't really have that going on.
Oh, absolutely.
So on my end, I don't have a lot to say about myself except that my wife got an offer to write a 10,000 word like cozy mystery, like a short, like just for reference, like a regular novel is anywhere between like 80 and 100,000 words. So a 10,000 word story is a short story.
I was about to say,
short boy.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that is like, you know, like 20 pages, like called a day, you know what I mean? Kind of story.
Which you think sounds easy, but no, you got to truncate all that. Like that's wild.
Well, that's my thing. So,
Okay.
so what I've been up to is, she got that, and we were talking about how to fit a mystery into 10,000 words. You know what I mean? Just you know, narratively.
Yeah.
So I took upon the challenge myself to write a 10,000 word. It wound up being a horror kind of story.
Oh, sure.
And I wrote that in like 4 days.
That's awesome.
And I'll have to send it to you so you can read it.
Please do.
It messed me up to write it.
Oh, excellent.
Because it was like pretty dark, and as it was like going forward, I'm like, oh my god. But it's kind of exciting, and the character I created, I kind of like I have another story kind of lined up, so I've started working on that. And I'm gonna try to tackle NaNoWriMo next month, which is the you know, National Novel Writing Month in November.
I did not know that.
And yeah, and
Okay.
you're the challenge is, this is going on forever. The challenge is to write 50,000 words in November.
Okay.
Like, and so a lot of writers do NaNoWriMo. Alicia's been doing it for like 100 years. She usually takes some kind of like retreat trip with her friend Kristen or something, and they'll go out and like write. So I think I'm going to try to tackle a series of more of these short stories in November. So I don't know. It's kind of fun to write.
Hell yeah.
I haven't written in a long time. So that's been kind of how I've been like, you know, getting my creativity out lately.
Right. Dude, I want to, I definitely want to read that. Absolutely.
Yeah. I sent it to Father Preston and he liked it. And I wasn't sending to a lot of people at first because I was kind of like, oh man, I don't know.
Oh, sure.
But Alicia said that it disturbed her greatly.
Oh,
like
good.
Like she said that I bent neck ladied her, which if you've seen the Haunting of Hill House,
yes,
and you know the episode the bent neck lady,
yes,
you know how like just horrific it is.
Yeah.
She said that I did that. And I'm like, oh,
geez.
So when she like dried her eyes, she was like, no, it was good though. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do with that. She's like, I was like, any criticism? And she's like, there's one part where you are in third person and you kind of get too close to a character that you shouldn't because you're in third person, so you need to zoom out. And I'm like, I went and fixed it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? She's like, no, it's good. It was disturbing. I'm like,
okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll send it to you. And
that's
see
awesome.
What you think.
I definitely want to read that.
But yeah, so yeah, I'll show you the link tonight. But so the last thing that was a big deal was New York Comic Con has just passed.
It did.
Our temporarily dubbed New York correspondent John Clemens did sometimes in costume, sometimes not, and closely followed all of the TMNT stuff that was going on at the con. Sent us a bunch of pictures, some videos. We're going to work on presenting that for next episode because the stuff he got was really cool. But Eric, he sent us a little gift along. And I have to show you because it arrived at my house in a big ass box that was like post Canada. I'm like, oh my God, it's from Canada. Yeah, so you know it's John Clemens rolling deep.
Oh yeah. So
there's two of these. I'm just going to show you one because they're actually kind of big.
Okay.
The box was like really big but really light, and I was like, what is in this? And I opened it and I was like, oh, that makes sense. So it is this. I'm going to try to get it on camera the best I can.
Okay. Oh.
So it starts out like this.
Right.
And then I'm going to do a little reveal.
Okay.
Oh, there's the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then over here.
All right.
You've got the mask. You know what I'm saying?
Looks very familiar.
Then you got this boy. Hello. At Bish Art. Do you know who that is?
It's familiar.
Any clues? And there's the other part of his face. So this is Ben Bishop.
Yeah.
Okay. Famed TMNT IDW comic artist, creator, writer.
Right.
A signed hockey mask signed by Ben Bishop.
Ah, that's awesome.
And a sticker. Okay, I gotta handle this here. Give me a second. Inside, very well packaged, by the way, John. You put that air wrap around that, bubble wrap, boys, and these things were just like in 100% prime condition all the way from Canada. It was like beautiful,
man. And
what I'm really excited about too, a sticker of the masks. Is like, dude, the stickers, guitar cases. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Go. Like it's all over it
all day. No cap.
And so that is, and I checked, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, and they're both the same. So basically, yeah. So John got us these signed. Oh, the camera's kind of blowing it out.
Hold on. I can see it though. That looks amazing.
Yeah, Ben Bishop, 23, signed.
Yeah.
Hockey masks.
It's different. It's different when somebody gets you something that was signed. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no, it's super neat. Like, it's like so cool.
Like, I'm more excited about that than I am me going and get something signed, if that makes any sense. Like, it's just neat. And so, yeah, thank you, John.
It's super cool.
I'm so excited.
And John, thank you so much. That was an NYCC exclusive from Ben Bishop. And yeah, Ben Bishop's got stuff going on with the new TMNT. So yeah, I'm excited. And yeah, thanks so much, John. So he once again, like I said, he got us that, but he also got us a lot more information on stuff that's coming out. Last Ronin Part 2 exclusive panels and details, stuff like that, which we will cover next week when we can get the assets on the screen for you guys. Let you see it, because it's very visual. It's a very visual thing.
Yes.
So that is kind of what's going on right now.
All right.
We got these episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me see. I was going to try to be a smart boy and check on chat really fast.
Oh, that's probably good.
Because right before we get in, just to see what's popping. You know what I mean? See who's doing what.
Right.
Ryan Ragland's in the chat running it down.
Oh, snap.
Mitch Fletcher in the chat. He says, Ryan Ragland says, Jamie Lee Curtis scarier than Michael Myers.
Fair
That. He drops that back in the day you had the Lute and the Liar. I forgot about Lear.
That's what I was getting crossed up on.
When you call it. Which is pretty sweet. And then Ryan's the last thing he says is it weird that NaNoWriMo is the same month as No Nut November? No,
it's not. It's all planned.
Fully intentional.
Absolutely.
That is strange. November's a weird month. Apparently Alicia knows all this stuff because she's been doing it for so long. It started in San Francisco, and the guy that started it was like, yeah, like November, because everyone's asking like, why November?
Yeah,
because it has Thanksgiving in it. It has holidays in it. And it's kind of like, and it's also a short month. It's a short month, and it's a holiday month. And he was like, basically like, November I thought was the best month where people just want to kind of be inside.
That's fair.
And like, because it can't be in the spring
or
the summer or even like the fall. Like people like toward the beginning of fall, people are like, oh, it's fall. I want to be outside. And he's like, November is just a cold, kind of crappy month. And I thought it'd be great to be inside and writing. And then I countered Alicia by saying this guy has never been to Florida because November is usually when we're like, oh, cool. So it's not sweltering. Yeah. Like I don't want to be inside anymore.
I don't want to die today.
NaNoWriMo would be July. August. That's when I want to be inside in the AC writing a book. But yeah, no, that is funny though. But yeah, No Nut November. I mean, it's a thing for a reason.
It is.
So let's see. So we're kind of flip flop. So we're doing 2 episodes, right? Double barrel, full heap and spoonful, gallon sized, if you will. All the old parlance. And we kind of flipped it.
We did.
Eric snagged the first episode. I don't know what to do except to hand it over to Eric.
Yeah.
And say, Eric, it's your go. It's
all right.
Unchain My Heart, part 1.
Part 1.
Which I'm surprised that no one here is, sang the Tony Braxton song yet, but we'll just let that roll as it goes.
It makes me think that like that was the intent behind that that title. Like, because that song would have
my heart.
Yeah, that song would have been out by then. Right?
I'm looking it up right now just to see what year it came out.
Yeah, because it had to have been. If not like
96, October 7th, barely missed the anniversary.
Right.
By almost a month. 97, or 96. So yeah, no, well in 2 years in to Unbreak My Heart, which is epic.
It is so big.
Epic.
Oh,
when I was a kid, I could never even though Tony Braxton and Whitney Houston sound completely different,
Right.
like their styles are different.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
When I was like younger, I always thought that was Whitney Houston.
Really?
And someone would be like, Tony Braxton. And I'm like,
Yeah.
because I knew it, but like,
Yeah.
something about it, it seemed like it was like, because it was just in the height of that Whitney Houston situation.
That's fair.
And I was like, oh, it just feels like a song she would do.
Yeah,
to me.
It does.
Like,
it does. I can see that. But I remember being at my friend's house and watching some music video channel. I didn't care if it was MTV or BET or both of them. I was just like, music videos, that's all I want. And I remember seeing that video like all the time, just a ton. And that song was everywhere. I think that was at the height of like my sister listening to the radio. So like just in my house, it would come on. But yeah.
Oh my God. Speaking of the radio, do you remember, I hate to sidetrack, it was the last thing I'm going to say. We talked about mental health. You know what I'm saying? Had a couple, you and I've had a couple rough, 2-3 weeks, right?
Yes.
So I was kind of down, everything was kind of black and white to me. And I was like, I was driving to work and I was like, dude, I got to put something on. And I'm not the kind of guy, I wish I could be the guy that could go back to comedy.
Yeah.
Like I hear so many people say like, oh, I put on a stand up and that just turns me around. I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I think we talked about this before. When I'm in a bad mood and I try to make myself happier with something funny, it makes me feel like I'm drowning.
Yeah.
Like I don't like, it doesn't work. It feels like it's almost mocking how I feel. Right.
Yes.
Something I thought about it and I thought I was going to forget. I remembered the Bud Light Real American Heroes ads. Do you remember those? Or like Real Men of Genius that were on the radio?
I remember them, but I don't recall them.
Okay. It's like Real Men of Genius. It was like, we salute you, Mr. Fortune Cookie, Fortune Writer guy. You know, and it's like a little thing.
Yeah.
And I remembered those because they were on the height of like when I worked for my dad, we listened to like what didn't matter, the country station, the rock station. They were all over the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was at like 2000, 2001. I was right there. And I heard like all of them. They have them all on YouTube. I was listening to them and they were so good.
Okay.
And they brought me back. They literally I'm Evanescence over here. You brought me back to life. You know what I mean? Like I got popped up. I got pumped up. I was like, these are actually really funny.
Right.
So yeah. I remembered why it was called Real American Heroes, and then it became Real Men of Genius.
Why?
Do you know why?
I don't.
9/11.
Oh, dang.
Because it was Real American Heroes, like, for a while. And then 9/11 happened, and they were like, Real Men of Genius, because they couldn't mock American heroes.
Right, right.
Like, so we almost need to, like, have, like, I don't even know if it'd be it'd have to be, like, a separate just thing we do. I would love to sit down and, like, just discuss a list of things that changed because of 9/11, like in media, that had to change, or things that, like, do you know what I mean? Because it's interesting how much stuff was kind of full on happening when that happened.
Yeah.
And you've got your classic Jimmy Eat World, you know what I mean? Like album American. Title, Bleed American. You've got a lot of stuff that happened around that time that almost seemed like either we were fully ramped up and just like being very critical of America, and then we got like musical chairs stopped and we're like, ooh, you know what I mean? Or we're like, oh no, can't do that. Or we just timed it beautifully.
Yeah.
We're like, everything was happening around that time and it was like, oh no. But yeah, that's why it changed. I remember clearly it changing.
We could definitely do that on a bonus episode at some point when we get back to those. So we'll have to.
I got hit up. I got hit up for boners when I was on How He Sees It.
Oh, did you? Okay, yeah. I mean, Noah loves them boners, so
he's trying to tell Bo about our show, and he's like, "Yeah, man, they do these." And it's so funny because like you realize how like deep in it we are.
Yeah.
Like when there's just a dude who's like very like Bo's a very like clean cut dude, like in his nice house, like on his laptop with his little little Apple headphones on. It was very like very clean, very cool. And then you've got Noah like, and man, like when you guys would do those boners, and like you got to explain this to this dude,
right?
Who looks like a damned professional man. Right. And you're like, so on the podcast, we have these bonus episodes, and we called them boners once.
Right.
And then Noah's like, yep, no time for socks. And I'm like, so we do these bonus episodes, and Eric and I were in a big hurry. So I didn't have time to put my socks on.
Yeah.
And that's when we said no time for socks. And he's just going, oh, that cool.
That's beautiful.
That's cool. And I'm going like, no, that we're crazy. It's not cool.
We are absolutely insane. Yes.
Yeah, we're absolutely insane. Anyways,
absolutely no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking about insane, you ready to get into these insane episodes? These
I am ready.
Unchained.
These are insane in the membrane.
Oh my goodness. Well, everybody, we are now talking about Next Mutation, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Drop the Teenage Mutant, keep the Ninja Turtles.
No, it's just Ninja Turtles. They're grown-ups now.
Right. Applause, as you can see at the bottom, kind of barely. Let's see if I
can. Please clap.
Yes, please clap.
Ninja Turtles Association would be like, please clap.
Yeah,
please clap.
So yeah, this is what we're talking about tonight. These 2 episodes, and they are interesting. So bear with us because this is our first 2-parter in a while. We haven't done like a double dose
time.
And they're interesting. So we start off in the lair. It's Hummer Night, everybody. It's Hummer night.
It's Hummer Night. Oh, what a night. Yeah.
So we real quick, little story. Right off the bat. My sister and I were at our old youth pastor's house back like 20 years ago. I stole a lot of my early show vernacular, old dad, things like that. You don't tell dad, all that stuff. We were watching like a late night TV show, like I don't know, Carson or not Carson, Jesus, Leno or whoever. Wow, yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, my sister was watching Carson in the house, and we were watching Carson.
Yep, and somebody said something about giving a Hummer, and that was a weird conversation to have with your youth pastor who makes jokes with you being.
He's got his jeans and blazer on. He's like, all right, guys. Listen, all right, so let me. He sits on the edge of the couch and look. Let me be real with you.
Yeah, let me explain. I'm going to show you, but here it is. And I'm like, oh, awakening. But anyway, the turtles here are going to tell you it's Hummer Night. And
anytime I see an opening shot of this, I hear
oh yeah,
like I hear that music, like it's like so stapled to the experience.
Is it because it's good, or is it just because like it's endearing? Like how much of this is
the
like
vibe,
Stockholm?
Bro? I think a lot of it's that music feels like the show looks. It just I can't explain. It's like welded together.
It is, and I'm right
so
there with
weird.
You. I love it. Well, apparently it's also time for some Wednesday night adventure, and the boys are just excited. The boys are back in town. All the songs are playing, dancing's happening. Everybody's really excited. So they hop in, they do the Hummer, they do the bike, they take off. They do like they do every episode, and they make it to this building, and they start. I was trying to scaling. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. And they scale this building, and we're like, I'm kind of like, this is interesting. Like I'm loving that they're cutting to the chase. There's no real setup. It's just Hummer Night, Wednesday night adventures. I love this. And all of a sudden your boys are breaking and entering, which, who doesn't love that?
Oh, B&E, bro.
Little B&E. And all of a sudden turns out it's all skate, everybody. All skate.
It's just all skate, bro. All skate.
The Green Machine are on the skates,
absolutely,
and just tearing it up. And they basically broke into a skating rink. Well, this is more like a skate park, like an indoor skate park.
Yeah, skate park. Yeah,
which is pretty awesome. And I love this so much. I love that they're doing this. Like that it's just something that adds a lot of character. Yes, they can skate anywhere, and they could skate in the sewer somehow. But like, I don't know, just something about this. I just kind of liked it. And so everyone's doing all their stuff. Then you get your boy Donnie. He's got his little skateboard with the engine on it, the cheap skate, if you will. And got to have a gadget. Always got to have a gadget. And just rolling around, remote control. Now, I want to ask you something about this, Ryan, because they start doing these types of shots. Now, it's like a quad shot, like 4 cameras. Is there a technical term for this at all that you know of?
I mean, it would be called. I think it'd be called a 4-shot.
Okay.
It was very indicative of like cheap music videos in the 90s.
Yeah.
Where it's just and the thing is like it's not obviously 4 cameras. It's just the same camera angle, like duplicated 4 times.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's called a 4 split or something like that. I believe that a lot of times, like by a 4 split, like it's 4 different images.
Right.
Know.
Yeah.
Like this was very like. Also, I think very inspired because when this sequence started, I just got hit in the face by like this nostalgic feeling of like those like early kind of like indie skate videos used this. Did you ever watch those when you were younger?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like all like the Tony Hawk, the early Tony Hawk stuff, the early what's his name, starts with a B. He's like my favorite skater.
It wasn't well, Bam's a skater.
It was Burnquist.
Oh yeah, Bob Burnquist, yeah.
Bob Burnquist, yeah. Those guys would do these, like, they were kind of those indie tapes, and you could rent them. Like,
right.
I used to rent them from the movie store,
right?
And like, or you'd have a friend that had one that bought it at like a skate park or something, and they were very like on the street. They're basically like band those classic band DVDs they wound up making like in the aughts. You're like, oh, these are like the best thing ever.
Yeah,
they were like those. They were basically '90s skate DVD or VHSs,
right?
And all of a sudden, all the cheap camera tricks of like the force split and like the reverse angles and stuff, I just was like brought right back to like watching one of those, not knowing what was gonna. And the best thing about those, they were unrated. They were like, I could rent them when I was a kid, and like mom's like, cool, skateboarding.
Yeah.
And there'd be dudes and they're like, oh fuck, like I'd be like, oh yeah, you know what I mean, like, you know,
yeah. Well,
but like it just brought me back, and I don't know if you watched those when you were a kid, but like it really brought me back to that.
I loved that they doubled as a music comp. That like because they would play bands doing it, and, like while they're showing this.
Old ones remember before like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, which kind of carried that on in video game form. Those they used indie labels. I think Nitro literally supplied most of those videos with music, and it was just Nitro music comps.
Yeah, I think Nitro and Fat Records and all the skate punk stuff, and
all the California based
like
punk like third wave punk labels were like all over it. And it was, once again, you were like kind of listening at half to listen to the music,
right?
So I used to put it on like a CD, like a compilation CD,
precisely.
Like
but
there'd also be skateboarding,
right?
Oh my God, what's his name? Jason Lee used to be in those. Do you remember that?
Oh,
before he was really an actor.
Yeah.
Like Jason Lee hung out with all those dudes,
right?
And they would do ones in New York, and Jason Lee would be in them.
My Name Is
and
Earl.
like, and absolutely, like, Jason Lee would, or you know, whatever, like all of his classic,
Mallrats
movies,
Kevin Smith,
Mallrats, some of that. You just see Jason Lee like ripping it up to like some Sonic Youth or something. You'd be like, that's badass. Anyway.
I want to ask you too. Do you think this is fourth wall breaking because there's no reason to explain why we're seeing this shot, you know, except it's for us, and it's
for us.
There's a metatextual thing there, right? But it's like
100%.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, maybe I'm thinking about this too much, but I was like, it's neat and I like it, but there's no reason in universe for it to be showing me this.
It's just fun. I think that they were trying to borrow. I think it's kind of cool that somebody in that production had watched these like indie skate videos and was like, we're going to do an indie skate video segment, and like literally said like it's going to be like a 4-shot like this. It's going to copy the shots. We're going to do this and that. I think that's cool as hell.
Right.
Honestly, like it's kind of weirdly like present of them. To do it.
To be in.
But then
they
did an episode where Mikey holds a rave. So the people that were working on this show kind of knew like what was going on in the culture. So
that's true.
That's kind of cool. But yeah, I think it definitely is. It's just fun. I think it's an homage and it's fun.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I totally agree.
And honestly, the actors they have, like the stunt guys they have in the suits, are pulling some fucking tricks.
They're doing some tricks, which is nuts.
Leo straight up like jumps ramp to ramp.
Yeah.
At one point, I think it's that shot.
Yeah,
he jumps a ramp and lands on another one. He jumps a gap.
Right.
That's
impressive.
That's awesome
on your own, even if you don't have a turtles costume.
Foam suits, like, because you know how they go when they want to shoot the turtles skating. Like they'll have them on a little trailer or something, and they'll like have a guy like pushing off or something. And you're like, okay, this is real skating.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
Yeah,
like
that's what I loved about
that. That gap jump he does is no trick or no easy thing.
No,
like your boy Father Preston couldn't run that shit. He's like the best skater I know.
I asked Preston at band practice a couple weeks ago to do it. Hey, do a kickflip, and he had to, but he couldn't do it because he had been skating earlier that day and messed up his leg. But he felt like real deep seated shame that he couldn't do it. And I tried to console him.
You do kickflip.
He couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've seen him do it before. He just couldn't do it that night, and it's hard to work under pressure, especially at our age. So I get it. But
Bro, during the pandemic, that kid used to bring his skateboard to work, dude, and and we'd be out there, and he'd be like, "No, watch this."
Yeah,
and he'd like doing like kickflips and shit, like outside work. I'm like, "This is insane."
Yeah,
like,
it's like
we're both in like suits.
Yeah,
we're both in like suits, and he's like out there like kickflip, and I'm like, "This is insanity."
Yeah. Who would have thought? Well, speaking of insanity, your boy Bone Steel happens to be in attendance at the skate park.
Oh, he is,
and he is up in the area in the first level of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, where when you go down the ramp and then you go to the right and you kick over the half pipe, that little thing that was hanging over, that's where he's at right now. And the reason he's there is because everybody knows that turtles like to skate on Wednesdays. It's Wednesdays.
He knows it for sure.
He definitely knows it.
It's Wednesday Hummer Night, dude. What are you talking about?
It's Wednesday Hummer Night. What else are you doing? And so he has a plan. He's got traps set up. He is ready. And he launches his traps, and he gets your boy Leo boxed in, in the old bars, the old cage. And he ends up tossing on Mikey and Venus, and then your boy Raph gets caught in something too, a cage, I believe, and Donnie
a bamboo, like a wooden bamboo.
That's what it was. That's what it was. And then Donnie gets caught on the old the rope-a-dope, like where it snags his leg and yanks him up.
Somehow he's riding his skateboard and somehow gets around his foot, but not the skateboard.
Because the skateboard is pertinent for later.
It is pertinent.
So Bone still comes down and says, "Reap the whirlwind, you overgrown cooters." And that's just it's a name for.
I gotta tell you this is spoiler alert for your boy Bone Still. I mean, he's about to fall face first in the poop, but. After that, your boy like Bone Steel's on one these 2 episodes.
Oh yeah,
he is like actually doing hunting shit.
Yeah,
and it's actually awesome. They're actually using him well.
Absolutely,
which is really neat because he set this whole thing up.
Yeah,
and he knows like I'm gonna get you
right.
Like I'd never use a real gun.
No,
I'd probably get a lot farther if the shotgun I kept stroking was a real shotgun and not something that shot a net or shot a stinky gas at you or something. It was just like loaded with buckshot. I would have killed you by now. But yeah,
right. See, I don't think he wants the kill. I think he wants to want the kill, but I think he likes the hunt. I think he likes the thrill of it. But I'm loving this dread thing that he's got in his hair. That's
he could be in Skinny Puppy.
Yeah.
That's how he maintains his membership. That's like just the third keyboardist in Skinny Puppy.
That's just beautiful. I love that so much.
If he ever cut it, he couldn't be in the band.
He couldn't be in it. Well, he ends up swinging on a vine, a rope that just happens to be in the skate park, and he ends up just like. Donatello ends up doing something with the skateboard and causes Bone Steel to like mess up, fall, get caught in his own trap kind of deal. And Donnie says, "You Tarzan me pain," which was like, damn, was not expecting, your boy Donnie to just drop that on him. So, the turtles get free because, they do. Mm-hmm. And Bone Steel's all wrapped up like a dang old piece of toast. And, then they get him in the bars and, he's pretty much done for. But, so that's Bone Steel and Leo.
And they turn the lights out on him.
Yeah.
Which is like my favorite thing.
Right. They just drop the lights on him. And like,
oh, Leo. Yeah.
You kind of get this idea that something's up with Leo and Bone Steel. Like something's bothering Leo about this whole situation. But we're going to get back to that in a little bit. So then we cut, Ryan. Are you ready for this? To this castle, more specifically.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready for everything that's about to happen. I'm so ready for it.
You're thinking Dragon Lord, or at least I was. I was like, oh, Dragon Lord. Okay,
it looks like Dragon Lord's castle warehouse on a stormy day.
It's very similar.
I go, God damn it! Here comes Dragon Lord again.
Here comes Wick. But no, somewhere in China, and I was like, Tim Allen up in here. Just
Oh, shit.
And it's Chinatime, and we get a coffin with chains on it, which 6 to midnight over here, and then you get this girl that looks like I don't know how to describe her. But she looks like there's more than meets the eye, if you know what I'm saying. And
Looks awesome.
Yeah, then she's got a cohort, another child that has a lot of long hair and looks like a monk. They start circling this tomb and they remove the, what would you call the top of the tomb? Is there a proper name for that you know of?
That'd be a lid.
A lid? Okay,
A casket lid.
Casket lid?
A coffin lid.
For some reason, I was thinking there's a proper, and there probably is, but I don't know. For some reason, I was thinking there's something I know, and it was escaping me, but it was probably just lid. Anyway, now, Ryan, I don't know how much experience you have with coffins, but because of Pokemon Go and my wife being very much into them, I have a lot of experience with them, and I can tell you, hands down, on God, no cap, that this next thing that happens a lot with caskets is a skeleton pops out of the coffin. There you go. I don't know if you knew that would happen. However,
like it's either going to be him or Undertaker.
Yeah. That's true.
And honestly, that's why I usually don't remove too many coffin lids, because
you don't want that
in either of those.
Yeah.
Being around.
Yeah, no. I like seeing the Undertaker like with a screen, like they're being like a distance, obviously.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's live in Orlando and I'm here in Tampa watching on TV.
Right, precisely. Like
that's the distance I need from him.
Yeah, he'd have to get on I-4, which is arguably scarier than almost anything in any horror
100%.
movie. Yeah.
No, that's it's harder getting there than down to the gates of hell.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
And so the skeleton just turns around and asks, "Why am I so cold?" And the small children respond with, "Because you're not wearing your skin." Which, if you're ever wondering why you might be cold, that could be a possible solution. Ask your doctor.
Check to make sure your skin's on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's easy to leave it behind.
Yeah, dims the rules on if you're cold or not. If you're cold, rule 1: check to see if you have your skin. There you go. That's it.
Rule 2: that if you have your skin on, then put on your cutest cardigan.
There you go. That's it, and you're done. You're no longer cold.
Yep.
And you're fashionable now. Even because you might not think that skin's fashionable, but skin's in. From what producer Greg tells me.
I mean, it's definitely better than the alternative.
I mean, as you can see here, but yeah. So there's something about these kids, Ryan, and not just because they look like they've been drinking some of that whatever they're holding, but they're holding this red vial and they start waving it around, wafting it around, if you will, and this green thing comes out.
They're pouring some of that lean on your girl. They're like, you need a sip.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
all of a sudden,
have a sip of that lean, girl.
She puts her skin on, and we got this lady who kind of looks like a very glittery member of the Horde from He-Man, from She-Ra specifically.
Fair.
Like she looks like Princess Adora, like the Captain Adora when she's in the Horde, kind of just outfit, like a white kind of thing with a red thing on top of it.
She's also running about 96% Betty Page vibes.
Very true.
Just need to level out those bangs and shorten them just a little more.
Right. Just a touch. Just a touch.
And then it'd be 100% Betty Page vibes, which basically opens up all doors.
Right. And so, yeah.
At least to me.
That's true. So we find out that the two children, one of them, the little girl, presumably, is Chishu, and the monk is named Bing. So there's that. And we find out that this character is Von Me. Is that right? Am I saying that? Vam Me, like vampire. And Vam Me. They let us know that they've been buried, or not buried, but entombed for about 70 years or so. And none other than, the shinobi, your boy, Chung-Yi. Oh, not Chu-Shi. No, Chu-Shi's the warrior dragon. If Chu-Shi was in this,
it's all leaking in. It's all the walls are
with
being torn down.
Yeah.
Oh,
but no, I had to scroll up to find his name again because I was like, I'm gonna get that wrong. But
it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we've talked about Chung-Yi, but they give him a lot of spotlight in here.
This is his legacy.
It is, and oh my goodness. I'm so glad you said that because, this is definitely, we'll find out more about that in a minute. But he entombed her and took her heart, put it in a wooden box, and Bing informs us that it's in America right now. Somehow, they know that. And
Yeah.
So Van Mee is definitely not happy about this, and she can only because she can only keep up the illusion of this flesh for 4 days, which is weird, unless reunited with her heart. So they decide to go to New York, and they're like their discussion.
Can I just say that the first time Bing speaks, it was almost an in or out moment for me.
Really?
Because the girl. So all right. So here's the deal about the scene, really fast.
Okay.
So when you watch it, it's obvious that they're overdubbing the voices for
yes,
all of them.
Yes,
but they are speaking English. That is very important, right? Normally with a Saban deal, you got like people talking. You're like either this was shot in English,
right,
or it's dubbed.
Yeah.
They're speaking English, but obviously they chose to overdub Bing's voice. The voice a super low voice.
Yeah.
For a boy. And then also Chichu, they overdub her voice with it's kind of like they put like a flanger on it or something. It's got like a really weird like pitch tone thing going on.
It does.
When the dub's right, it's really good.
Yeah.
And I almost had an out moment on Bing right there. I almost said this is just stupid. But then he said something else. I can't remember what it was. I go, oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. And then when they make their little, let's go to New York City, I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like it teetered on the edge.
It did.
I'm out.
I get you. There's one that happens next episode.
It was actually that. Okay.
That got me.
Next episode for you?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it ramped up for me.
Right.
But this was like it was touch and go. It was actually this shot.
Yeah.
Of her with her arms around them and laughing. And when I realized that the boy and girl are not actual children.
Right.
They're just old vampires who were turned very young.
Yes.
Kind of got me in my Interview with the Vampire vibes.
Right.
Because they always had that little girl that I thought was great. That she was like 8 or 10.
That was Kirsten Dunst, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Kirsten Dunst. Yeah. And I love that about that. And then seeing this little reunion, this little family reunion, I was like, I'm in. Bring it. Because I just said straight up, I'm like, what's the Dragon Lord and Wick right now? Yeah. They've just been shown that they're just highly ineffective. And it's time to bring in a replacement.
It's true.
And if this is what it is right now, I'm all about it.
All about it. So and they're all about going to New York. So they do, after they've laughed, of course. And
yes,
I don't think anyone talks about going to New York until they laugh. John Clemens, let us know. Did you laugh when you decided to go to New York Comic Con? Like, I'm going to go to New York Comic Con. I think probably. I think it's how you have to do it.
It goes, yeah.
So, back in the lair, the turtles recount their run-in with Bone Steel, and Raph, mentions losing his board. Venus comes out with a wooden box, asking if anyone needs herbal medicine, which is interesting, and I do kind of like that element of her being a healer.
I do too.
It seems stereotypical as the woman's the healer, but it's part of it seems on par for her character. However,
yes,
Leonardo, your boy, Leo, leader of the team, the boy in blue, capital L, put some leads, L for leads.
Hashtag leads, bro. 100% L for leads.
Right. Mr. Nardo, if you will, wants to know, Ryan, he wants to know, how does that nutbag hunter know where we're going to be? And he is heated about your boy.
Because you're not actually ninja ever.
That's true. But I love that he's so heated about this, that he's so upset.
He's mad about it. No, because he's the one. And here's the deal. I think all the other turtles kind of bring out their frustration in kind of short, fiery but temporary ways.
Yeah.
Mikey starts complaining. Raph starts really complaining, usually about something very selfish, like I lost my skateboard.
Right.
That bummed me out. Donnie kind of goes, oh, that's lame, and goes and works on a computer thing. Leo's left by himself to be like, I'm the only guy that seems to connect the dots.
Right.
And every damn night lately we try to go out, and if it's not Hummer Wednesday, then you know what I mean, then it's Rave Thursday, and he's always out here. That kid's always out here, dude. Even on pizza night, Friday night pizza night, the kid's out there, dude.
He's out there.
We can't leave the house.
Yeah.
How do you guys just keep isolating this down to one event, one by one by one, like it's not a pattern?
Right. Because I feel him. See, the last time, though, it made sense because, the first time was by accident. The last time I think we saw Bone Steel was the rave. I think that he showed up at the rave, and I could be mistaken, but I believe that's the last time. But the rave made sense because Michelangelo's radio show, he put it on. And so you got your ear to the ground,
Yeah.
you're going to hear that. So
I swore he had another appearance. He had
he
another
probably
appearance
did.
as the Rave.
He probably
He did.
But
he did.
But nevertheless, like they're still like it this one came out of nowhere because I mean, I didn't know about Hummer Wednesday. So but he sure did. So, you know, but Venus says that, you know, he may be insane, but he's patient. Leo says he's losing his patience, which I just absolutely love. And Mikey seems to, you know, like be like he starts like asking like what's that smell, like he smells something like funky, which is interesting being in the sewer, and he says that I think she says that it smells like your socks, but turns out what it actually is that she has this box where all her herbal medicine is, and it's got this weird shape. Let me see if I can get the pointer over there, this thing right here. And that apparently is something that looks like a root, but she can't identify it. And again, smells like Mikey's socks. And so, yeah, the turtles are left to deal with kind of how that's going to go. So,
the lid, the medicine box lid. Yeah. There might be another name for it, but we're going to call it a lid.
Call it a lid.
That lid closes for now. You know what I'm saying? With the mystery of what the hell is that weird bitness in there? Now, your boy Chungi, that could be that Doja. You know, she has no idea.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Sticky
Because boy Chungi, you know that he had that sticky icky and other stuff besides. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, but she doesn't seem like she's, you know what I mean, like well versed in the science.
No.
But the lid goes back on today as we've, you know, healed Leo of his minor injuries.
Right.
Back at Bone Steel's camp of sadness. The thing about Bone Steel is this. I don't know, do you have a shot of his camp?
Of his camp? Let me check.
That?
I have one of him there, kind of.
Oh, okay. Well, that kind of shows you, but the establishing shot shows you that now they've definitely used Bone Steel's camp as like a set. Like you're going to see it a lot more now. It's way too big for one person. I love how it's like this whole, like, it's a camp.
It's a compound.
And that's why we call it a camp. It's a compound. It's not like his one little solitary tent or something.
Right.
This guy's using the resources that like an entire like homeless village would use.
Yes.
To house just himself and all of his trophies, by the way.
Oh yeah. And all his weapons.
All of his weapons, all of his stuff. So Bone Steel is having a conversation with Lucy. A large shotgun that he chooses, like an elephant gun that he just doesn't actually use for its real purpose.
Right.
And he winds up showing it his tracker guide. That's the shot you had before.
Yes.
Now he says he made this tracker guide.
Yeah.
But I think what's really funny about it is it contains all the information he's learned about turtles.
Right.
His handwriting is actually pretty clean, which
is
kind of crazy for me. But then he consults the tracker's guide and is talking to Lucy like it was written by someone else in like the next breath.
Just completely
He's
lost.
like, you see, it says here, and you're like, you just said you wrote that?
Right.
Do you now forget you've written that? And I love that about Bone Steel because you don't know where he is mentally.
You don't.
Like, it is all over the place. Like, he seems to have moments of clarity where he's actually dangerous.
Yeah.
And then he has these moments where he's so in chasing his own mind in circles that you just don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to have the malice of a character be unreliable. That's an interesting thing.
That's so good.
Like,
that's so good.
I'm racking my brain for another character I can remember that has. It's not unreliable narrator. It's unreliable malice.
Ooh, the closest thing I can think of,
maybe the Joker.
Maybe you're talking outside of the
type of the Joker.
Okay.
That's how rare it is.
Yeah,
I'm going anywhere. The Joker has sometimes an unreliable malice.
Yeah,
right. Like that. He's not always your enemy.
Right.
Always.
He's not always going to kill you or even hurt you.
Yes. A lot of times it's like he wants you to feel something or see something.
Right.
It's important to him.
Yeah.
In his head, and he could just go away.
Yeah.
And that's why I always believe that, like, you know, there's like Batman stories where Joker's not involved.
Yeah.
Because Joker's like off, like doing a thing.
Right.
Like he's working on somewhere else. Like you don't see him until he's like, oh, Batman. I remember him now. Okay, we got to make Batman see his own parents die again. And then he just gets that in his head and he has to go see that again, right? How a bummer. Exactly. He has to do that again, right?
Yeah.
Do you think of another character that has like one of their traits is unreliable malice?
Ooh, I mean, no. As far as in the Turtle universe, the closest thing I was going to come to was like maybe the Rat King, but like not that, but more in the sense of like
in certain incarnations,
but more in the sense of like you don't know what he's gonna do. Like it's not like, and then I guess to a lesser extent, maybe you could say that certain incarnations of Leatherhead, but
I was just going to bring up Leatherhead.
Yeah,
that he but it's more like you have to talk about different iterations, of
right?
him, though,
Right.
To say it's unreliable, I'm talking about like in one version, because I keep going like one version of a character, and I think it's a very rare thing.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to do well, and I just want to give him a shout out for that.
Yeah.
Unreliable malice, or even unreliable ability to deliver malice or hurt, is a very novel thing, and it's rare.
It is,
and
Bone
Steel is that, and I like that.
Absolutely,
he's a sophisticated hunter, but then falls into poop.
Right.
He writes a very well made tracking guide on the turtles, but then forgets he wrote it and is referencing one small fact like it's the only thing he's able to read in the entire book while he talks to his gun.
Right.
That he's named. Like that's where you're at with him.
Yeah.
Later on, you'll see that he sets up some sophisticated technology, but then seems to not understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's just Bone Steel's weird. I'm about it.
I love it.
So he finds this tracker's guide that somebody wrote. Who fucking knows? But inside it says, this very wise person that wrote this whole book says, that the turtles like to go to Central Park under the full moon. He's like, yep. I've logged that. So guess where I'm heading? I'm going to the big white china plate in the sky. I'm gonna go set something up and get them turtles because I need to have my turtle shoes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, sure, man, you go. Meanwhile, our little vampire family flies all the way to New York from China with their little flappy magical wings. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
this is the way the Power Rangers used to they teleport, their transport or whatever it was, and the little colors would come up over them, and then they'd be like in the air. This is the same thing, except they're kind of they're bats. So, but yeah,
it's like I just got back from China, back to New York, and I'm still exhausted. You know what I mean? Like, and that's basically what it is. The flippy flap all the way across the ocean. And they're probably like, couldn't this have happened in like San Francisco? Because we could just go over the Pacific, but now we got to fly over a whole country again.
Right.
Which way do you go? You know what I'm saying? So they fly there. And I love it because they just show straight up at a condemned hotel called the Ambassador.
Yes.
And we see in the next episode that it's spelled different.
Is it?
Like it yes. Like I think it spells ambassador different.
Interesting.
And I think a way you might have a screenshot of it. I just thought it was cool. I was pretty sure it was spelled different.
I think I got it on the next one.
Missing the double S.
Yeah.
Or something. I was like, that's neat.
It is.
Because it kind of like in Tampa, we have a place called the Hotel Floridan.
Yeah.
Floridan. Mm-hmm. That hotel goes back to like the 30s or something like that. It's like old as shit.
Not Floridian.
40s. Not Floridian.
No.
Floridan. And a lot of people call it the Floridian. It's like, no, it's the Floridan. Or Floridan, which my brother says. And I kind of trust him a little bit.
Yeah, like Shane would know. He would.
Shane like walked the halls of the Floridan like when it was like decommissioned, like under construction, almost got caught. Like Shane's crazy.
He is.
Like Shane was just like he like, delivered pizzas in downtown Tampa. He's like, I'm going inside this building.
I love that your brother used pizza delivery to go on mysteries. Like your brother's just like, because the obvious
that could be
I've got a pizza. Like, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's genius. Like that. There's your 10,000 word cozy mysteries.
Oh my goodness, I know.
Pizza guy with a pizza, and a pizza gets him anywhere.
Right. The pizza mysteries.
Genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the best thing is, if you want to make it really kind of like funny and like oddball, is like he'd have stuff in the pizza box that was like going to help him with his shit. Like,
Precisely.
There's not actually a pizza in.
Right.
Like there's some pizza maybe, but like whenever he opens the pizza box, you're like, what do you have in there? He's like, oh, that duct tape. I need this to do this. You're like, I got the pizza box.
Or
got him.
Or if he gets caught and it's like he can't get out of it, he can just be as mystified as they are that there's not a pizza in there. He could be like,
yeah, he's like, oh, wait, this is
horse shit. Oh my god, I gotta go talk to my manager.
I can't believe this. There's a fully loaded gun in here instead of a pizza. God damn, that's crazy. What's the city coming to? You know what I mean?
My goodness, you can't trust the pizza guy.
Yeah. I got like 12 pairs of those zip tie handcuffs instead of a pizza. I don't understand. Like, why is that?
I got to go talk to the kitchen staff.
Yeah, I got to talk to Mario back there. He's killing me.
Yeah.
So they landed in a hotel.
Yes.
And I love what everyone's wearing.
Oh,
I love
absolutely.
Chi-Chu's dress. I love everybody's everything, and it's so good.
It is.
And they pop in and they're like, it basically like Van Mee is like, this place sucks.
Yes.
This place is a wreck. And that's when Bing drops like, yeah, no, Chi-Chu and I stayed here 100 years ago.
Yeah.
When it was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of cool because you go, okay, confirmed. So
right.
They're old as shit.
Yeah.
They predate. Not maybe Van Meek. She's in charge a little bit.
Right.
Just a little, though. That's what I like about the dynamic, too. Those aren't her little minions.
No.
Not totally.
Not necessarily,
like, she can tell them to do things. I believe she's an elder to them.
Yeah.
Like, so in, like, vampire lore, right? Elder, vampire, usually that's your chain of command.
Right.
She seems like she's elder to them, but not by much.
Right, no.
And they actually have, like, kind of a team going on. So it's just neat, and to have kids in the role is cool. So it's very unusual, really weird. So this is where we also learned that Bing is 1,200 years old. He just straight up says that.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
Yeah.
And Van Mee is like honestly kind of beside herself, and she's gonna be like this for most of the episode. So we'll just cover it now. She is like kind of not cool with not having a heart. Now, granted, I mean, who would be? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's got the ticking time clock of the 4 days, which once again are rapidly kind of dwindling.
Yeah.
And she can feel her heart like calling out to her from somewhere in the city. So she knows she's on the right track. But you can tell it's kind of driving her a little batty to have it so close, but yet so far. She has no leads on it, except that the Mei Pei Chai, as they know her, as Chung Yi's like, you know, like disciple, has it now in New York. That's the only data. Where she is, what she looks like, nothing like that. They got nothing. So cut back and Venus is cooking. You know what I'm saying? She's like, in the kitchen cooking. I'm a woman having to cook. This sucks. And she's probably thinking, what weird herb could I add to this to make everyone sick? Yeah. When all of a sudden, I tell you what, bro, I feel like America's Hat, because this episode's all about the lids.
All about the lids. The lids.
Like lid
MVP
pops off the herb box. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
And the little heart-shaped herb boy pops out. And Venus is like, that is really weird. And she says, maybe it's a Chinese jumping herb. And I'm like, okay. Sure. Well, there's a lot of Mexican jumping bean jokes in the 90s. You know, just all about that. They're like, did you know there's an actual bean that jumps around? You're like, okay, that's weird. There's a little bug in there, right? Yeah. Then later on, you're like, huh, that kid's jumping like a Mexican jumping bean. You're like, that's the only thing you think can jump?
That's the only thing
we know white men can't do it. We know white men can't do it because
there's a whole movie
in the 90s.
There's a whole movie.
There's a whole movie about that. But like, okay, so that's like some people that can't jump. Okay, but like everything else can.
Yeah.
How about a grasshopper? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. So we're back in the lair again. Later on, we see that Leo barges in on Splinter and demands to either learn the ninja ways of hunting.
Oh, yeah.
To which Splinter goes, that's actually not even a thing because we don't do that. And he goes, or, you know what, we got to make something up then because I'm sick of this Bone Steel always hunting me down, figuring out where we are. It's BS. I get called my pants down. Yep. And Splinter's like, haha, you don't wear pants. That's funny. And he's like, die. And he leaves the room. He rushes off and he says he's going to try to learn on his own from a book or maybe even hell. I mean, it's kind of odds are against me, but maybe even a CD-ROM.
CD-ROM.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Splinter's like, what's a CD-ROM?
Yep.
I'm like, you'll learn eventually. You'll learn today.
Mm-hmm.
So we're then treated to a montage that we never get in Captain America, despite the movie costing millions and millions and millions.
I totally thought about that
to me.
when I saw
Thank you. A movie that had all the time in the world to get this right. We actually see Leo reading books on hunting.
Zulu hunting strategies.
Strategy of the early European trappers or whatever. He figured it all out. Okay. Yeah. He's learning from books, boys.
I love this so much. I love that he was so tired of getting caught with his pants down.
Yes.
That he went and found books in the sewer. Somehow he found them and he's reading. And I love it because we can sensationalize. This is Turtle Soup. It's what we do. This might teach kids like, hey, if you're really upset about something, learn about it. read about it.
I mean, is that not like part of it? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I actually really like it.
I love it so
take
much.
a minute. They make it fun because he basically is reading books like my son does anything in a chair.
Yeah.
Where he just eventually he's like laying sideways, he's upside down, he's like the other way, he's like laying back, he's like randomly doing it's like just rotating in a chair eventually.
Yeah.
But he's reading all these books and I'm a fan of it.
Yeah.
So later on, he's still reading. Mikey just busts out, challenged everyone to a game of Glow Disc.
Glow
Now,
Disc.
if you're not familiar with Glow, I don't know if that's a thing in New York or what it is.
I don't either.
I don't know if Yankees just bust out Glow Disc.
Right.
But what Glow Disc is, this feels like one of those It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia games.
It totally does.
Like night crawlers or whatever. Where you're like, what is night crawlers? That's weird. Glow Disc sounds like that, where you're like, you've obviously made this up, and I don't know what it involves.
Right.
Spoiler alert, it's basically tossing a glow-in-the-dark disc around in the only pale moonlight. And spoiler alert, not being great at catching it, throwing it, seeing it, doing anything with it. They can't see.
They can't.
But it's glow disc.
But it's glow disc.
And everyone's down for glow disc. Even Leo's like, well, I was reading. But, I mean, who's not going to want to do glow disc? Splinter, straight up, does the thing Splinter does. He goes, I don't like this. Why do y'all always go out when the moon's full?
Yeah.
If you were a real ninja, you know that makes you visible in the darkness. Like, why are you like trying to be under the devil's moonlight or whatever Joker says in that movie? Dance with the devil under the pale moonlight. Is that what he says?
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? Yeah.
Yeah. So they're out here doing Jack Nicholson. It's not a thing, but they're basically like they do the thing. They do the thing. And I guess being hidden in the shadows only matters if you're an actual ninja, because it doesn't matter to them. Because besides Venus wearing a black cape to ostensibly try to hide the glare from her shell or something, I don't know why she's wearing that.
I don't know why either.
She sounds like the one of all of them, even Leo, the one that would actually concede, like, Splinter, you're right, I'll wear something black.
Right.
Like to appear more like dark in the dark or whatever. But Splinter and that's just a little thing. It's just a little, once again, I feel like it's a kid show about turtles. But one thing that kind of bothers me for all the stuff that they're doing kind of right now, storyline wise, it's starting to really rub me raw how much they just tell old Splinter, like, shut up, and they leave.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if there's this much logged time on target of disrespect to Splinter in any other Turtles incarnation.
Right.
Like, even in the animated series, which was the same 3 physical comedy jokes over and over again for 190 something episodes.
Yeah.
Like, literally, when Splinter said something, Raph might say, nah, son, I ain't with that. But then Leo would be like, Raph, listen, Master's right, or something.
It didn't feel like this.
No, this feels like, whatever, old man. And they've done that consistently the entire show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how sensitive you and I are to when Splinter's like mitigated.
Sensitive to Sensei.
When he's like, we're sensitive to Sensei. We're maybe a little hypersensitive, because especially in our current time, the most recent incarnations of Splinter have been weak.
Yeah.
And characters that are just kind of like an old dad that aren't anything special.
Right.
And he's a special character.
He is.
So I might be getting a little hot because of what's happening in our current time.
Right.
But why'd you even write it?
Yeah.
Because they just disrespect him again. By the way, next episode, they're going to disrespect him again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually in a way worse way than this. So just get ready for that.
Get ready.
So yeah. They take off in their vehicles. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They turn all the lights on, and they're going to go play Glow Disc.
Yeah.
We do notice that we then see the colored bat form of our little vampire family.
Yeah.
Just floating outside their hotel, and kind of, I guess, like heading out to somewhere, and there's really no explanation of why.
Yeah.
But I guess they decide they've got a sense on the turtles or something.
Yeah.
They're gonna go.
Like you could say she's
find the heart.
Following her heart or something. I don't know. They don't really explain it, or at least I didn't pick up on it. But yeah. So we jump to Bone Steel, who is in Central Park, and he's like planning a metal thing, and he just goes nasty. He just says nasty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love this guy. I love him so much. And so he proceeds to talk to Eleanor, which is his net launcher, I believe. And
net
about
tosser, effectively.
Yeah, net tosser, precisely. And he's basically explaining the whole situation of like what he's doing, which he's setting traps for turtles. They come out. He knows two things. He knows that Wednesday night is for adventure fun, skating, and Hummers, and that the turtles come out on the full moon to play glow disc. And yeah, he knows those things. So we cut back to Splinter, who doesn't know anything, apparently, according to his children. And he's cooking now. So not only does the female cook, but also the dad cooks, you know. So at least the duties are being shared to some degree. So it's not just a stereotype. But nevertheless, he's there cooking, and he senses something's not right. And he checks behind him and finds the evil herb just hopping out. And it hopped in some flour, and he smells it, and he just says evil. Just evil. Like you can just tell by the smell. So we cut back to Central Park, and your boy Bone Steel's looking at your boys, the Ninja Turtles, with some high-tech gear going on. And some infrared looking stuff, and or night vision-esque kind of thing. And he's just watching them play glow disc. And he's just totally creeping. And then that's when he decides to just, all right, cool, I'm going to set off all the traps. And so he starts doing all his normal shenanigans, which is like, you know, shooting nets and like I think he shoots like a bow or an arrow at Michelangelo, and he grabs it and he breaks it just like in midair. And I'm like, dang, Mikey. And I love Venus's face, like right here. Like that was the face I had whenever I saw Mikey do that. I was like, oh shit.
Fair. That's the face I had when I opened that package from John Clemens.
Oh my.
I was like, huh?
And so he's trying to catch them and all this stuff. And like just all these puns start happening. He has these like, I don't know if I get a good shot of it. I think, oh yeah, here's one. So he starts launching all these kind of big rocks at them.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they're turning this into Pebble Beach. So like the puns are just abounding. And it's just very interesting how it's all happening. But something's being set up here, it feels like. And this is when our resident bats come in, and they feel the heart. They found it. They sense something's happening in Central Park with their sensing sense. And they show up, and it's just like, oh, like they actually just say that. Oh. And yeah, this is pretty interesting. A fight ensues. Raphael does something to your boy Bing, and I think this is how
seeing the turtles fight children was
it was impressive. I thought it was neat. Because those kids were pretty aggressive.
Oh yeah. And well, you could tell that they weren't going to do anything where the turtles, like, I mean, there was going to be no spatula or tongs. There's going to be no tong action on these kids. You can tell that like
bummers going
the turtles kind of like just get hit by the kids or grapple with them, like, or whatever. But I'm like, are we gonna have like a plump booty call happen, or like
that's what it was?
You don't know about this show. You don't know this show.
You don't.
Like, Raph, where are those tongs?
Right.
You just don't know.
You don't. And so fighting is happening, and Bone still says something like, "I'll show you how to hunt rhesus monkeys." RHESUS. I didn't know what that was.
Well, you don't know what a rhesus monkey is?
I don't.
They're typically monkeys used in experiments. Like if you ever see like the classic, like if there's a movie set and there's like, oh, all the experimental monkeys in the cages, those are like rhesus monkeys.
Interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, I thought he was trying to I thought he was saying like, I was like, is he saying like, I didn't know if that was a mess up on the text. And I was like, did Reese's make monkeys? And I was like, no, they don't have any peanut butter monkeys. And I'm like, I was just racking my brain. But somewhere in this fight, there's something happening where Leo realizes that Bone Steel was, I think it's before the vampires actually show up, that Bone Steel's using his whip to try to lure the turtles into a Mandinka carnage pit, which I believe is like the pits that have all the spikes in them or something kind of crazy like that. And I was like, when he dropped that, I was like, oh, that's that shit he learned from the books.
Oh, 100%. He's like, yeah, he knew that shit. That's really good.
I loved that so much. I thought it was fantastic. Well, at this point, your boy just pieces out, and takes off. And the turtles are left with the vampires, and they are trying to be like, okay, well, we're gonna attack Leonardo, or Leo lures them towards him.
Yeah, he calls attention because I'll be honestly, the rest of them are kind of losing.
Yeah,
like, to like the three vampires.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, and he does this thing where he flips over the Mandinka Carnage pit and causes them to fall in it. And traps them, and he says "bada tomb" instead of "bada boom."
He does. Oh, it's pretty great.
It's great, and so like, I think that's pretty much where
because they run and fall into it is the big thing, right? Like he jumps over it, and they charge him because they don't know the carnage pit is there,
right?
And they fall into it, and he's like, boys, got him,
and so then. Back in the lair, their turtles are just discussing like what happened and all that. And Venus comes in and asks if anyone needs herbal medicine again. And she opens her box and there's something pink and presumably alive in there now. And it's this little guy. Yeah.
And he's beaten now. Like, he's definitely not old, dried, old, desiccated boy.
No.
He's like dump. What's up?
This is all new. And that
all different.
That is part 1. So Ryan, what'd you think?
Obviously introduction of the vampire trio. I'm about. We're kind of done with. At least I'm kind of done with the Dragon Lord for now. Honestly, like I'm take a break on him. I love the introduction to them. I thought it was pretty cool. Like I said, a little annoyed by we're just like not ever ninjas, and you're like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
However, whatever. The skating stuff was cool. And I can tell you it really kind of blends in really well into the next episode, which is kind of cool. It is a series. It is a multi-parter. But I liked it. I gotta be honest. I really liked it. The Van Mee and the vampire twins excite me. So it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no, I think they're fantastic, and I've really enjoyed that in this little bit. And I'm always a big fan of new villains, especially when you introduce them with old villains too, like Bone Steel, tried and true, and you're giving him so much character. Yeah. I'm really digging that, and the Leo stuff is just, I absolutely love him showing that part of his personality that he's gotten. His anger has been and riled up, and I love that so much. So
it was really cool. So checking in with chat before the next episode. Daniel Aguilera says, what's up, my dudes? Did anyone score the Bottleneck Gallery edition of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 lenticular cover?
Oh,
so rad, man. No, I did not.
I didn't.
Amazing Turtletarians ran that plan.
Yeah, let us know.
Lenticular cover. I figured you'd be on that. Like,
do you think it would? Lenticular covers. I mean, lenticular 6 to midnight over here. And,
And so Spaded Ones in the chat says, fun fact, Mutant Mayhem versions of TMNT are playable in Project Session, a skateboarding game on PC and console.
Oh,
that's pretty cool. Go back to our Turtles homage to the 90s skateboarding videos.
Oh, yeah. That's legit.
And Father Preston shows
up. My boy.
And he says,
my man,
evil has a distinct smell.
It does. If anyone knows, he does. He definitely knows how evil smells.
He would know.
He would know.
And can sing just like Michael Jackson about it.
Absolutely, totally can. And Ben Gibbard.
And Claudia. Let's be honest, he can kind of do anybody. Chris Conley. I mean,
Mike Herrera, MXPX, all the dudes. So before you start your review, I want to show an image and talk real quick about this one thing. The thing I love so much about these establishing shots, right here. That shot right there. Batman and Robin.
That New York Police Department is like, I want to live there. That is literally What If We Kissed under the New York Police Department / Batman and Robin ad.
Yes.
Is what that is.
And I think it's June 20th, I think, is what the date says.
Yeah.
I love this so much. Like Father Preston has a big thing with like old New York. Now, granted, he prefers like 70s, 80s New York, but still 90s New York.
No, my man, New York.
Is pretty, yeah, my man, New York, and yeah, but that New York Police Department, that's and the neon letters. Oh, it's so cool. But
it's super sick.
That
and that's the second time they showed that Batman and Robin because they've used that establishing shot before.
Yes.
But that New York Police Department, like, and everything about that image is like just vaporwave, like like new funk. It's completely.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's so
really good.
It's so
everything
good.
about it's really good. Yeah.
Just wanted to drop that.
Oh, thank you. Can you write down the time?
The time? Yeah.
Yeah. I need to step away from the microphone for literally 1 minute.
Oh, sure.
And I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Entertain everyone with your sexiness.
Oh, okay, cool. So I just thought, okay. Oh, he meant this time. All right. Let's see. 1:24:10. All right. So yeah. Well, while Ryan's doing whatever he's doing, I should have an image up to hide him. I think it's this. Does this show up? No, that does not show up. Does this one show up? It does not. Oh, I think I gotta hide his. There we go. Okay, so yeah. Well, actually, I think this is fun. Anyway, whatever. This is great podcasting. So yeah, I hope y'all are enjoying this. Let us know in the chat what you think about Next Mutation. What you think about these vampires? What do you think about vampire characters in general? Like, do you like them, love them, or hate them? Because I generally like them, but I think Ryan had a good point talking about the actual children being vampires in this. It's always an interesting mix of like, well, you look like a child, but you're obviously like thousands of years old. That's kind of weird, but I don't know. It's something that like as you get older, you start to realize like how sad that is, at least in some aspects of it. And I don't know. I just think it's a fascinating, little cliche, I guess, if you will, at this point to have those in here. But yeah, I don't know. I can't think of any other actual vampire characters that the Turtles have come across, except unless you want to consider Bloodsucker a vampire, but he's a different kind of vampire. And I was just thinking about other vampires that the Turtles might have come across, but and I was thinking that Bloodsucker might be considered one, but I don't think that. But he's not a traditional.
No, he's not really a vampire because it's not really like eternal, like immortal life. It's kind of like
it's more like I'll suck your plasma and then yeah.
Because that's my book. Because I did that as a creature anyway.
Right,
I was a leech anyway.
Right.
So that
was just a big
version of it now.
Yeah.
Sorry for the delay.
Oh, no problem.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm trying to give us a good transition when we cut back in. I know you have to edit the episode, which super sucks, but here we go.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Yeah, that New York Police Department neon sign is life, and I would just be under there waiting for someone. I'd just be under there waiting for someone to meet me, a friend, and we'd just be like, dude, the whole night's ahead of us.
Right.
It's 1998. Like, do you want to go see Batman and Robin? Like, what do you want to do? And it'd be great.
Yeah.
No,
I love it.
So getting into the episode, Unchain My Heart Part 2. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just a week later, you turn on your tube and here it is. And they set up that establishing shot. Yes, it's the ambassador.
Yes. I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
Like I specifically got this shot because I felt like you would also like it.
Love it.
It doesn't. It looks like it's been that's not real. Like it looks like that's Photoshop. Well, I don't know. They probably had Photoshop back then, but like
the building looks like it's like the building and the building to the right look like they were photoshopped onto the rest of the buildings.
Right, but also
the backgrounds. Does that make any sense? But then I didn't pick that up in motion.
Right,
because it's not just a picture. It felt like that was all there, but now that I look at it as a photo, it doesn't look right.
It doesn't look right. No, it does not look like those buildings would be there.
I love that it's spelled with an I.
Yes,
because that's just so distinctive and so neat.
Absolutely.
And they set it up as that's their base of operations, the Ambassador Hotel, this like old like abandoned hotel in New York. It's so good.
I love it.
So we are live at the Ambassador Hotel, where Van Mee opens up the episode kind of ranting at Bing. who is clinging to the top corner of the room.
Yes.
And I just love that.
Yes.
That is such a creepy vampire thing that they do.
It is.
Also a little Friday the 13th vibes.
Oh,
with
okay.
Like people being dragged into the corner of the room in the ceiling, which is like I mean, never forget the first time that happens in Friday the 13th or in Nightmare on Elm Street. That is like the scariest fucking thing that ever happened. Like I was so terrified by all that.
Oh yeah.
But I guess he's a little bit in the corner because he was bad a little bit. But like, it's so strange because he doesn't seem recalcitrant. He's actually making jokes like while he's up there. Like, and it's just so weird.
What word did you just say? Recalcitrant?
Recalcitrant.
What does that mean?
It just means that you're sorry and you regret what you did.
I've never heard that word before, Ryan.
Yep.
Where are them stars? You got to throw them stars. We got to get back to throwing them stars out. The more you know stars.
More you know,
gracious. I love that.
Yep, recalcitrant.
Recalcitrant.
It's recalcitrant, yeah.
Okay.
Like he shows none because he's not really sorry.
Yeah.
And he's kind of joking, but he kind of knows like that he might have like not done as much research. And so Van Mee's kind of mad that like, you know, for example, like that Mei Chai is a goddamn mutated turtle who can fight people. Yeah. And he's like, well, yeah, no, but also like, I don't have a note down what he says, but he throws a zinger.
She says, I got it.
Oh,
I got it.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah, because she talks about how she can't believe she's been, she got bamboozled by a pack of turtles, and he goes, that's a bale. Turtles come in bales,
turtles
not
come
packs.
in bales, not packs. Yes. So he's up there, and I love this, and I got to say this, because their relationships are so weird.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yes.
He is a servant of Van Mee, but like once again, it's a little bit more like, yeah, but we're all kind of equals too. So like, yes, and my job is like trying to help you get your heart. I did not make you aware that like it's a bunch of turtles, and I didn't even know that really, and that she's also a turtle and can fight you.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Right.
At the same time, I'm going to correct you because, turtles come in bales, not packs.
Yeah, I didn't know about the fighting turtles, but I do know that they come in bales, not packs. Yeah, that's...
And I love that because he's not, like, getting clouded over the head by a person in a huge foam outfit who's like, you nincompoop. Like, it feels more mature and their relationship. And they really get into that in this episode, which I really love.
Definitely.
You see these examples where it's not just a commander and his, like, little goons. It's different, and I really like it.
Totally appreciate it.
So after lamenting that they have only 48 hours left to get the heart back in her, before her bones dissolve forever, her quote, Chi-Chu makes a dramatic appearance.
Oh, yeah.
And basically says that she's tracked down Simon Bonesteel, the guy that they encountered in Central Park the night before. And Van Mee kind of makes that call and goes, okay, I tell you what. Because she says like, "Oh, you want to go eat him?"
Yeah.
Like we're kind of hungry. We flew all the way like from China and like and now we're like looking to eat. You know what I mean? And we haven't had dinner yet. And Van Mee's like, "Nah, let's hold off on that. Actually, he is the only connection to the turtles we have. So why don't you go ahead and follow him, you and Bing, and you can show Bing basically the ropes." It's a little bit of an insult to Bing, and Bing's like, "I'm 1,200 years old, but whatever. Right, sure, we'll do it." So they go fly away. In the lair, that's so funny. My notes are so weird. Oh, there we go. Okay. In the lair, the turtles and Venus are trying to get to the heart of this whole magically transforming vital organ in the old wooden herb box situation. They are like, okay, but then this is great. There's a little mystery, and then Venus is just like, wait a minute. I got it. Referring to an old scroll that only came into play right now. Right. She is able to get the entire background of it. She goes, check it out. My master, your boy Chungi, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. He never told me this. No. But here's what happened. Here's how he went off with him. He slayed this vampire years ago, 70 years ago. Yeah. Ripped her heart out, put her in a coffin with a bunch of chains on it, said, whatever, because you're nothing without the heart, baby. Put the heart in the old herb box, and it's his legacy to keep this vampire separated from her heart, because that's what your boy was doing. Right. And also, no, that's later. I'll say that till later. Okay. She just says all that.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like that's kind of what's going on. Now she wants it back because she can like lose her immortal soul if we keep it away from her. So it's kind of like the end of a football game when you're in the lead and you start running the ball a bunch.
Right. Because you don't want to lose your immortal soul.
Basically. You want to lose your immortal soul, you're working the clock. You're like, yeah, no, like I'm gonna run. I mean, I'm not. It's gonna take 40 seconds to get this playoff every time.
Right.
And like we're draining the clock.
Yeah.
And that's basically what she kind of intimates. Like she wants it back, but she'll die if she doesn't get it.
Yeah.
So we just gotta hang, boys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All the other turtles are like, oh
my goodness. I totally did.
Oh,
that
just that then?
The way you just described that didn't hit me the same way watching the episode as it did the way you just described it. That's okay. That paints this episode in a very different light for me now. Like I understood that conceptually, but like just the way that you did it though, like it hit me differently. I don't know. I love this.
Yeah, you're running out the clock.
Right. That's all it is.
This works into kind of a criticism I have of this entire episode. So like it, when things happen that happen later on, you're gonna hear me go, "What the?" Like when you hear me say that,
right.
Know that in my head, I'm watching this going, "Okay, so that's kind of the assignment." They're like, "Oh, these vampires, those are the people we fought. Like that's crazy, dude."
Yeah.
And now we got her heart. Like that's gross, dude. It's like beaten everywhere. That's obnoxious.
Right.
But just run out the clock.
Yeah.
Just like run out the clock, and the turtles are unable to do this, and you'll see why. So in the middle of her explaining that this is a great honor, right? Because she goes on, they go, "Oh man, you gotta be kidding me with this shit." She goes, "No, listen, this is my legacy.
Yeah,
this is Chung-E did this thing. He slayed a vampire like Lord S. Like he's very powerful. He got the heart, and he never told me this was a mission. But when I read my scroll, it's like my only mission actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is a great honor to do it, and any shinobi should be able to not only slay a vampire, which to me sounds real intense.
It does.
But at least keep the heart separated from the fucking vampire, dude. That's all I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The heart starts jumping around.
It does.
It's actually really cute. The sound they do for the heart, the little yippies, are goddamn hilarious.
Yeah.
I love it. And it's jumping around. There's a rope and dope to try to get a hold of it. You know what I'm saying? Whoopsie, catch it.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you. That's you want to be my latex salesman?
Right.
Is basically what that moment is. You remember that from Seinfeld when like George is just laid out with his pants down? Do you remember that?
No.
It's that whole thing. It's been going around lately as a meme too. Like, but we just did that rewatch a little bit ago with me and Alicia. And is that episode where like he's trying to get unemployment and he's trying to say like the places that he like that George like that he applied to.
Yeah.
And one was like, you know, he basically said like, "Oh, I worked for Art Vandelay,
right?
Like latex industries or something like that, as a latex salesman,
right?"
And he gives him Jerry's phone number, and he's like, "All you got to do is just pick up the phone and say Art Vandelay's latex. Yes, George worked here, or George applied here, or whatever." Right?
Okay, I remember that. Yes.
So all this shit goes down, and at the very end, like they're waiting on that phone call, but it never comes.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the episode, George is in the bathroom, like taking a crap or something, and the phone rings, and Kramer picks it up. And literally George is like, no, like from the bathroom.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
And his pants are down. Like he only has his boxers up. His pants are on the ground. And he stumbles and he just catches Kramer and be like, no, never heard of him. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
And he's just like crying on the ground. And that's when Jerry walks in. He looks in and goes, "So you want to be my latex salesman?" And he's just laid out. Alicia and I like rolled laughing forever because it's just the situational and the shot of it is so good.
Right. And
that's basically what this is. Like, you want to be my latex salesman? They're just laid out. You know, there's the heart. You know. Mm-hmm. So they can't get it, but old dad, because like we in this continuity we just like crap on old dad and he's not worth anything. But in reality, he just stands there with a jar and just catches that thing on the fly.
Yep.
Puts the lid on it,
like
nothing. And it's like, there you go.
Problem solved.
Another lid. You know what I'm saying?
And
he was like, "I'll put another lid." And I close a lid. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool.
We're back on lids.
It's all about lids, boys. We're back on lids, boy. Yeah, this is lids for days. So screw that thing in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's like, I put the lid on this matter. Everyone just sat there like, what? And then he goes, "You want to be my latex salesman?" And it's like the whole thing. In Bone Steel's camp, what can only be described as an absolute power move occurs in Bone Steel's camp.
Right.
Bone Steel is disassociating again.
Yes.
Talking to Alice, who I believe that's his dart gun.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He has all these guns. I do
does.
kind of like that they're all named. And
I love it.
I
love it.
That if you go through the episodes, those guns keep the same names because that'd be so good.
It would be.
Like they're all little identities. I believe that's his dart thrower. Anyway, as a K-bar as a like bayonet on the end of it. I love it. On the gun that shoots darts.
Yeah.
It's important to be able to stab someone with the gun that shoots darts.
Of course.
Anyway.
In case the darts don't work.
So he's disassociating, being crazy, talking to Alice about all the furniture and shoes, and so he's going to make out of the turtles.
Yeah.
Okay. Then all of a sudden you hear the sound of goats, which makes no sense, but that's just how his mind's working. The ends justify the means. All of a sudden he goes, "What the? I smell something funny." He senses someone is stalking him, gets up, walks directly to his tent.
Yes.
No stopping, plucks out an absolutely unaware Bing from inside.
Yeah.
Bing is just in there hunting him, stalking him. He grabs Bing, pulls him out, goes, "Let me show you something, Ponytail." He drags him to a box, a wooden crate, kicks the lid open, says, "Look inside that goddamn box."
Yeah.
That box is full of vampire killing shit.
Yeah.
It is all steaks and silver bullets and holy water and crosses and garlic. It is just full of it.
Yeah.
He then goes on to confess to killing no less than 15 of Bing's counterparts, the immortals, across several continents in his life. Then says, "You know what? With all this turtle crap going on, though, I'm not really in the mood to be taking immortal lives now.
Right.
So why don't you screw off? And if I see you again, I'll just do it because I enjoy it." How's that sound?
He tells him that he's going to I'll roast you on my portable tanning bed.
I'll steak you like a cocktail shrimp and roast you on my portable tanning bed.
Yeah.
Bing is utterly powerless.
Yes.
He is a child in Bone Steel's hands.
Yes.
He literally crumbles before him, turns into a bat, flies away, and talks some shit on the backside.
Yes. And
he's like, I'm gonna tell my dad. And you're like, Bone Steel, and it just cuts away.
Yeah.
Bone Steel wrecked this man's this man's entire career.
Oh yeah.
Like
1,200 years.
How
who
cool
cares?
was that?
It was awesome. And
how cool was that scene?
The look on Bone Steel's face is fantastic. Like, I forget the actor who plays him, but like he's a well-known voice actor.
His name too.
He's a well-known voice actor.
Yeah, he did stuff for Transform Beast Wars and stuff. He did a lot of stuff.
But he is fantastic in this, and he looks like he would literally kill that kid. Like he was. If the director said
unreliable,
yes, but if the director
unreliable
said
malice,
if the director said
it's insane
and kill him, he would probably be like, all right, he would just do it. Just
he'd be like,
done.
He'd be like, yeah, no, I guess I'm that method.
Yep.
No, like it's cool because once again, and they're really like picking it up here because it feels like the stakes are higher, and I like that, and they're kind of like, no, we got a little time to like make Bone Steel's like kind of like mental stuff and like unreliable malice an actual thing. We're really going to dig into it.
Yeah.
Because dude, that guy doesn't know his last name.
No.
And then he's talking to a gunny named.
Yeah.
About like just on this loop about like turtle shoes, and then I'm going to sit on my turtle chair, and then I'll make a turtle lamp shade, and then I'm going to, and all he goes, "What's that smell? Oh shit, I better show this kid."
I know exactly where that smell's coming from. I'm going to go right to the point, and
I got you, son. I've killed so many of you. I'm like, that is madness. It's such a cool character building moment for Bone Steel because you go, this dude's just killing vampires?
Yeah.
And basically says, like, I'm done with it. I mean, I still have my shit for it, but I'm done with it, really.
Right.
So I don't want to like break stride on this turtle thing right now, but if you make me do that, I will absolutely kill you.
Right.
And Bing's like, okay, I'm sorry. Then he's like, flap, flap, flap. Yeah, go fuck yourself. And he's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And goes right back to living his weird camp life where he's talking to Alice again. And you're like, dude, that was such an awesome scene for Bone Steel. It was just so good.
Absolutely.
It was so good. And anyway, so back in the lair, a very interesting conversation takes place. Donnie has the heart hooked up to all of his stuff, right? And he says that it's functioning normally. Mikey's like, bro, a heart functioning normally outside its body ain't normal, son. That's weird.
That is weird.
And Donnie's like, fair. I'm just saying that it's acting like a normal. You know what I mean when I say healthy and normal.
Right.
And Mike's like, but you know what I mean when I say that's screwed up and that's nightmare fuel. And Donnie's like, valid. This conversation will probably go on for a long time, this loop of like, yeah, but it's gross. Yeah, but it's real.
Right.
Yeah, but it's gross. Until Venus goes, all right, guys, check it out. I got to remind you again that in my Shinobi Scrolls, it says that although they're out of answers on like kind of what we should do if like bad stuff happens, right? Like doesn't really tell us how to kill a vampire that's missing her heart, who only has 48 hours to get it back. When your disciple or when your father teacher did this 70 years ago but didn't tell you, it doesn't say anything about that. But one thing it does say is that this is my goddamn duty and legacy.
Yeah.
Again, that's what it says. Shinobi. I've kept the Shinobi stuff down, y'all. Like, I've become part of the family, honestly. And like, I don't bring that Shinobi out all the time. I used to say Shinobi all the time. I used to say Shinobi. Now I got my little like metal balls that I do that do different things. And like, I'm healing y'all with herbal medicine. I've kind of toned it down.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing. But let me remind you that this is my entire culture and my entire point of being. Like, don't forget, because I use the wrong word sometimes, or the wrong word, the wrong syllable.
Yeah,
y'all make fun
wrong
of me
emphasis.
English isn't my first.
Yeah.
I speak English better than Raph does most of the time, but it is my second language, so sometimes I get a word wrong, and you guys like to make the funny on me.
Yeah.
And I've learned to be cool with that. I just still have to impress upon you that now we're in my mystical shit a little bit. So I'd respect it if we just went ahead and just didn't do anything but hide the heart from the vampire.
Yeah.
Raph busts out, I say we give the vampire the heart back. None of our business. Shinobi's like, no. Leo, obviously. Like, you just read books on hunting. Like, you're the logical one, dude. There's no way, like, Raph's going to take the heart and give it back to the vampires. We just have to run out the clock.
Right.
And we can literally have my honor be saved. It's very important to me. Leo's like, I don't know about that, boss.
Yeah.
Raph's got a point, because, like, vampires, dude, like, who wants to mess with that? And like we said, we were going to stay out of human affairs, and vampirism is a human problem. It's well known, but it's not our problem.
Yeah, this is so
that
weird.
First happened. I go, yes. I go, oh, okay, that's okay. Splinter walks in. I go, thank God. Splinter. Yeah. Splinter walks in and goes, this is a very interesting conversation. You guys are absolutely wrong.
Yep.
Listen to me. Do you want to dishonor your sister
and
her entire goddamned life by giving an evil vampire lordess her heart back?
Yeah.
Do you want to do that? It seems like it'd be a lot easier, boys, I'm telling you from experience, to run the clock out on the heart thing, preserve your sister's honor and her legacy to her father. Be real easy. And Leo looks a little sulky. He goes, damn. Like, Leo looks like he's supposed to come, damn, you're right.
Right.
Bullshit. Like, I gotta do the right thing again. Dad said so. Raph just puts on his big boy pants and goes, nah, like, screw you. He's like, I've literally, right here, I've written enough horror movies. Vampires drink human blood, not turtle blood. I've seen enough of this game. I've seen this movie more than once. And we're going to give the actual heart back, and it's not our problem, and walks away.
Right.
Before I hand it off to you, I think at the end of the scene, I go, Raph's going to be the one who, like, has a stickler about this, right? But Leo's heard the truth. Donnie and Mike didn't really raise objections, so they could be with Venus potentially. Like, so, and maybe old dad walking in, honestly, like, if they had like 1%, like, I think Raph might be right about giving that heart back. Old dad walking in and seeing Leo go, like,
yeah,
that's enough to cure that in them.
Yeah.
So Raph might be mad about it, but that's about it. That's how I left that scene.
Yeah, it seems very weird, because it'd be one thing if the turtles had like gotten their asses kicked by the vampires, or like there was like they were turning people into vampires left and right, like it's a human, like there's some like impetus or like something like making them have to get rid of it, like rushing them. But there's nothing, there's no urgency to this on their side. the only thing is that this heart that was a problem because they couldn't keep the lid on the box until Splinter gets the mayonnaise jar and then locks it up. You're
that
set.
Problem solved. Yeah.
Take that, put that in a box, then put that in a fridge, and it'll stay in there for a while, at least more than 4 days. So at this point, it's probably even 2 days. So
for the next 48 hours, we run 2-man watches.
Yeah.
And we watch the entrances to the sewer, and the rest of us sleep when we can.
Right.
And we would just wait out these 48 hours making fart jokes.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's over.
And that's it.
And he's in the mayonnaise jar inside the box with a lid, inside a fridge with a door.
Right.
And it's over. That's exactly how I thought.
Yeah, yeah. But it just feels very weird. It feels very strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I do have to say though, I do like that Raphael's consistent with his it's a human problem, not ours. Like that him being like that way.
He's beat that drum pretty much the whole show.
He has. And yeah. I do appreciate that. Well, then we cut into the streets, and we've got just just Van Mee is just like beside herself. She's just like, my heart is near, and she's like wandering around, kind of like a Shakespearean character who's just like lamenting everything, and just forlorn and just all.
There's a lot of big dramatic like woe is me. She can't get it off her
right.
mind. She's lost, right? She can't find it.
Right. And she just doesn't know what to do. And they're just wandering the streets at this point. Cause I think that they can sense that it's like underground or that it's like somewhere in the vicinity, but they can't really get a feel for it. And so then they end up walking past this garbage pile, which turns out to be Bone Steel. He's in what does he call it? Industrial camouflage.
I love that.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And then we cut to Chichu and Bing catching Van Mee breaking into a hospital's blood supply, and they call her out for being dishonorable, which I thought was pretty hilarious. And she is just like someone who's just like a drug addict almost, just like kind of like an addict that's just gone. And they talk about how they stalk their prey for sustenance, but they could easily just go get some, I guess, but I don't know why they're not.
Well, there's a look. Well, so I liked about the scene in the way that they kind of bring it out when she's sitting in the chair, when she gets that basically a gigantic Capri Sun, which I love thinking it's like just a gigantic Capri Sun. She's like, oh, come on, Mom.
Oh yeah.
Like I know it's not for lunch. I want one today.
Right.
It's the afternoon. I'm home from school. I want one. No, save those for lunch. Like she's basically like sitting down, and she basically says something like, very, they treat it like liquor. They treat it like a hard drink.
Do.
She's like,
you
know what? My heart's not here, so I'm going to drink the pain away.
Right.
And I love the shot back to Bing and Chichu because they're looking at her with disgust.
Right.
And they're like, this is below you.
Yeah.
I think they literally say that. Like, this is below you. We stalk our prey for sustenance. We don't do this. And I love that because, they find it dishonorable to drink refrigerated blood that was given willingly.
Yeah,
they're like, no, we go and take it. We're vampires. That's part of it. And you sully yourself by doing this.
Mm-hmm. But she still
I thought it was a cool reaction. She does still do it, but I thought it was a cool reaction because once again it supports that whole thing of like Chichu and Bing are not two little wicks.
No,
getting beaten down and just doing whatever she says. They have opinions, and they're like, "Well, we're going to tell you."
Yeah,
which is pretty great.
The only thing, and I don't think we've talked about this yet, but they do, we might touch on it a little bit later, but they do talk about how much they missed her, and that's why they bring her back.
I like that,
and it's more of like a familial kind of thing, like a big sister kind of deal.
That was back in the streets. That was just the shot before because they're sitting on that crate.
Oh,
and she's basically says because you have the screenshot for it. She says why didn't you just get my heart when I was still in the coffin and bring it back to China and give it to me, so I could be like myself instead of having me out here,
right?
And Chichu goes, I missed you.
That's it. That's what it was.
And Bing's like, yeah, we missed you. That's why.
Yeah,
we wanted to wake you up because we were bored and you're cool.
Yeah,
and she's like, well, this sucks. And they're like, yeah, fair.
It's like, oh, that's true.
I get it. But that was just really cute to me because they missed her. They woke her up because they were like, all right, man, like 70 years is long enough. Get up. Let's get this going again.
Yeah. But I love
I
how
like
it kind of endears you to them. It kind of personalizes them.
100%.
Yeah. So that's really neat. Well, something else that that personalizes, the viewer to a character on the screen is watching them sleep. And here we get to watch Splinter. And what they don't tell you, and on the DVD, they have like this uncut thing, which is very weird. You could click the box at least on mine, and I don't know if you had it on yours, Ryan, but and you could watch Splinter sleep like it shows. It's kind of weird. It's kind of voyeuristic in a weird way. It shows him like getting ready for bed. You don't see any nudity or anything, but but you see him get on his little wicker little love seat thing, and then he just tucks himself in, and he goes to sleep. And this shot that we're showing right here, imagine him just like breathing and snoring, like it says on the screen, and that it shows.
Yeah, I went to watch it. It was like 6.5 hours, and I was like, nah, I don't got time for that today.
Yeah, I watched.
I'm sure you watched the whole thing.
Yeah, watched the whole thing, and
it makes sense.
Total Soup. One of us had to do it. So
yeah, of course. No,
yeah, and
sure. That's you getting back for that Mikey Toys around.
Precisely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One day at the end of this run, then you'll go back and watch those 6 hours, and
because I owe it now. Yeah,
right,
we'll fix it.
Yeah. So then after 6.5 hours of this, then you see Michelangelo go up to your boy Raphael, who's also sleeping. And by the way, also the other turtles and Venus are sleeping, with the exception of these two.
Yes,
now.
Everyone's sleeping soundly except for Mikey at this point. But then he wakes Raph up,
who goes to try and kiss Raphael, but then quickly changes course, like reverses. Reverses that.
Oh, I misread that.
Totally misread that.
It's like I was asleep.
Right,
is what Raph says. In the director's cut. Raph goes, "How could you misread a kiss? I was sleeping."
Right.
And Mikey's like, bro, listen about glow disc. And he's like, whatever, dude. Just move on.
It was a whole thing. So, but then he reverses it and he starts talking about, you lost the coin toss. You got to do this. Like, we're doing this now. Like, this is,
we still don't know what it is yet.
Right.
He's like, you got to get up and you got to get it, because you got to get in the street. Because if you don't get out in the streets this morning, it's going to be another day.
Right.
And like, you got to do it. And you're like, what are you talking about?
And then he says, you got to steal the heart, set it free, and following it. So that's what he ends up going and doing, guys. Like, he gets on his bike. He finally, reluctantly, because he wants to stay sleeping, but not because of the act of doing it. And he gets the heart, and he takes it, and he empties it out in the streets.
Yep.
Just in the streets. And he starts, like, trying to, like, I don't know, kick it and do all this weird stuff with it.
Like, go.
Yeah, get it to go back to being with the vampires. And it's just doing weird shit. And that was just super weird that they're doing this in the middle of the night. And now, granted, middle of the night stuff is ninja stuff, but...
It is ninja stuff, but his assignment is to follow the heart, too. They go, listen, they make like a follow your heart joke. They're like, follow it to make sure it doesn't get like stolen or crushed or something.
Right.
And make sure the vampires get it back.
Right.
So it's completely what Raph said they should do against everything.
Right. And that doesn't make any sense that Raph would be reluctant to do it, with the exception of he wanted to still sleep. But like,
he wanted to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah. It still felt very strange. But I do have to say the turtles do give back property that does not belong to them with honor. So, yeah.
I guess. I mean, so at this point we know, and this is how it's like unfolding to me, Mikey is in on this.
Yeah.
He wakes Raph up and goes, dude, don't forget you lost the coin toss, which you go, what, between the two of them?
Right.
And he's like, you got to go take the heart back. So it's a Mikey and Raph conspiracy right now. This is straight up like Black Ops.
Right.
Like nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody's got to know. Like, we're doing this. Never consulted Venus. Took it because the jar was next to Venus.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, we see that. Yeah.
Yes. And now you at least know Mikey and Raph are in on this, and now Raph's kicking the heart trying to get it to go. Now he's going to go follow it and protect it as it finds its way back to the vampires.
Exactly. And so we cut back to the vampires, and Van Mee's just on a bender. She is just just totally just on the ground. Just, the heart is a traitor. Immortality is just another word for pain, and just being so melodramatic.
That's her like Frankenfurter, like, even smiling makes my face ache. Like
Right,
moment,
right.
which I appreciate. That's her little moment.
Oh yeah.
So good.
And so yeah, she is just like lamenting the loss of this and just all about it. And Chishu and Bing just still looking on with disgust, like just completely.
I love it. I love that. They're like, you've
this.
lost your way. This is BS. Yeah.
Well, back in the lair, Donnie announces that his satellite uplink is working. He says his turtle-fied eye in the sky is fully functioning, and Mikey and Leo just kind of look on, and they just got to be quiet because they are Donnie. Because they might wake Venus, and she'll realize that they just betrayed her, and that's rough.
Cold-blooded. When it cut back, dude, and it's Donnie, and he's like, "Oh, certified. I'm tracking Raph," and then you see Mikey. I'm like, "Oh, so Donnie's in on it?"
Right.
And then you hear Leo go, "Come on, man, hurry up."
Yep.
Or no, Leo's the one that says, "Be quiet, man. You might wake her up." And I'm like, "You too?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God.
So it's dark times for the turtles. And so Raph, let's see. So so back in the streets, we see Bone Steel, and then he sees Raph, and he sees all of this from his industrial camouflage, and he's like, "Oh, the plot thickens." I love that tiny little garbage can right here. Like, it's just I think it's like a little plant pot. Oh, that's probably what it is.
Water for a plant.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I should.
It's still cool though. It still looks neat.
It still looks neat.
I love everything that's going on.
It's just super weird. I'm totally all about it. But yeah. So then the vampires show up. Everything shows up, and this is what Bone Steel's witnessing. And Raph's like, "Here's the deal. I'll give you corpses back. A little stinky here is what he calls it." And he's like, "Y'all just leave us alone. Y'all just go away. Y'all just do your thing." And just.
He says, "Don't mess with me and my friends."
Right.
He says, like, "Don't mess with my friends, my little family. Like, don't mess with us."
Right. And he asks if they dig, and they say, "We dig." They dig what he's saying and stuff. And so yeah. Then they start fighting. Like there's like all right.
Well, you skipped one part.
Did I skip a part?
Because because it's all good. Like because Chichu gets the lingo, goes, "No, we dig. Give us the heart."
Right.
And Bing leans over to Chichu out loud, whole ass out loud, goes, "And then the only thing we got to do after that is kill that damn Mei Chai, and we'll be set."
Oh.
And Raph's like, "What did you say?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I said kill what? What I say?"
Right. I forgot about that.
He's
yes.
Like, and that's what starts it, because then he's like, "Wait a minute," and then that's when Van Mee's like, "Attack!"
Right.
Like so. It's Bing just out loud. Bing just like leans in and goes like, and then when we killed that stupid Mei Chai, bro, it's all set now. It's lit. And he's like, "I heard you." He's like, "Dang
it! Oh, why did I just wait?" That's this whole episode is like, why didn't people just wait? Just patience.
Why did they just wait?
It goes back to patience. Bone Steel is the only one with patience, and he is the most successful character in these two episodes.
And he's literally insane. And he's literally talking to guns.
Right.
And he's the most sane and patient person here. Right. Actually.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I couldn't remember why they started fighting. But yeah, you're right. That's where Raph realizes that, there's more to the story, as Paul Hardy used to say, or something like that.
They will just kill me.
Yeah.
Or well, they'll kill Venus.
Right.
That was part of their job.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, man.
And so
evil vampires, dude, like they don't just drink blood from humans, dude. They do other bad shit. That's like part of the thing.
Right. And he calls Venus family now, but he also wants to keep her alive until one day they can live out that
ride free
or something like that.
Ride free or whatever. But also wants to love her and ride free, and thinks of her kind of as a sister friend also, but at the same time just absolutely betray her honor.
Yes.
And her entire like purpose for being alive.
Right.
It's fine.
Yes. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. We see here that Raphael Turtles tickle with honor here as he tickles a 1,200-year-old child who is holding a vampire heart in his hands. Yep. That was great. And at this point the turtles okay, so this I'm gonna throw it to you in a second, but the turtles realize there's something going on, so they have to get in their car, and I got a shot of something, Ryan. I don't know if you saw this.
Ooh, let's go.
So the key fob on the the Hummer for Hummer Fun Times Wednesdays. I got a shot of this because I've seen this shot before, but I never could get a shot.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
And it says Turtle Picture Bike. Does it say pickup or picture?
It says picture.
Yeah, it says Turtle Picture Bike.
Picture bike is what it says.
Or Biz?
No, I think it's bike. Turtle Picture Bike.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I thought that was like, oh.
Yeah. No, it's obviously the key ring for the production vehicle, and
right.
You just see it.
I kind of love that. That's
actually
shit.
Pretty cool.
I love that so much.
Yes,
anyway, I'm sorry. Bike. Go ahead and
you're good.
Catch us up.
So the turtles are watching, Donnie's watching Eye in the Sky and notices that Raph's like little icons moving around. He's like, oh, he's fighting the vampires. And Leo's like, give me that exact address. And I'm like, all right, yeah, like, whatever. You guys are just honestly like so shitty to Venus right now. But yeah no, go try to make it better because you're stepping in it now.
Yeah.
So they boot up everything and have a really good time driving there.
They do.
And I'm like,
they totally do.
This has to feel awful because now Raphael has been betrayed. He's fighting 3 vampires you know of. You don't know that he's also fighting Bone Steel. And you just betrayed your sister literally in one of the dirtiest ways possible.
Right.
But yeah, bro, yeah, certified. Right. Yeah, let's get that picture bike going. And like, you're like, what? So they rush over there. So Bone Steel pops out of his hiding place, and now he's like, let's fucking go. And he starts like shooting nets.
Yeah.
Old Net Tassa captures Raph, Chichu, and Bing in one net.
Yes.
And I love it because it's all close quarters. When they cut back to Raph, it's like kind of annoying, but like the 2 kids are just picking at him.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like they're not kids, but Chichu and Bing are just like scratching his like little chest and biting him, and he's just like, "Come on, guys!" Like he's it's so funny.
It is.
He's just like, "Oh, these kids are killing me! Like, let's go." And everyone kind of converges at once because like the turtles show up and they actually do kind of do something funny where Leo's like, "All right, so you're in the net with the kids, and there's a vampire there, and everything's cool." No, I'm sorry. They fight and then they defeat Bone Steel. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. They defeat Bone Steel. They throw him in they throw him like in the dumpster like it's Sound Idea, in the early aughts. Yeah. He goes in the fish dumpster, and that's when Leo goes, all right, well, we got Bone Steel, and you're all tied up right now, so we'll see you later. And Raph has to say, come on, man, like help me out. He's like, okay.
Right.
So they go over there, and everyone's kind of fighting. The heart's jumping around like it was before, and like kind of everyone's got the heart almost at some point.
Right.
When the sun comes up.
Oh yeah.
And I love the sound of roosters. That's like my favorite thing. New York City, cock-a-doodle-doo. I'm like, sure. Whatever.
Somebody's gotta have one.
Although, I mean, apparently, like I learned in Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man game, speaking of Spider-Man, that like apparently, like people just have like chickens and pigeons on the roof, I guess. So like that's a thing. Like what's it with like feather animals in a cage on the roof in New York? I don't know. But like so sure. But cock-a-doodle-doo, like it's Ybor City when those lights come in. You know what I'm talking about? That dawn in Ybor City. Cock-a-doodle-doo. You go like there are a weird amount of chickens around Ybor City. That's when you realize that the first time. Right. You're like there's just chickens.
Just everywhere.
In this strip of clubs. So cock-a-doodle-doo. The sun comes up immediately, and the vampires have to flee because they start burning. So we realize that they do have that same thing as your traditional vampire. Don't know if Donnie's coming or going based on that face from watching an actual spontaneous organic combustion. But either way, I think he's fine with it. Either way, I think it's cool.
Oh my god! Sexualizing this screen cap is like the best thing we've done all night. Like,
let's be honest. Like, I mean, I don't know how often you make that face, but
he's thinking about. We're watching an actual spontaneous organic combustion. And your boy
just get all to the side. It's like, oh, the sun must accelerate their cells to a point where it causes friction, and that causes them to burn. Ha ha ha! And everyone's like, yeah, that's weird. So so the vampires turn back into into bats and they fly away. And
Oh.
and yeah, so you don't.
Oh my God.
It's kind of weird editing, but you don't really see who has the heart at the end of it.
Right.
But the turtles get it back. Like
Yeah.
they have the jar. They brought the jar, I guess, to put the turtle back in. Raph had the jar. I don't know what it is. The turtle, the heart's back in the jar when they come home.
Right. Yeah.
So the turtles bring the heart back home to the lair, trying to sneak in, knowing full well that they completely betrayed their sister, and they're just making a bunch of funny about, I'm quieter.
Yeah.
No, but like, you're not that quiet. I'm quiet. You're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of realized that they betrayed Venus and Splinter too.
That's true.
Like
yeah.
I was thinking mainly for Venus, but they mentioned like Master's you're gonna wake Master up, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
no, true, because your dad would also have a really hard time, because that was your dad's like best friend.
Yeah,
like your dad, like Chung-E was his best friend, and like, so you've not only betrayed like Chung-E's legacy, a man who's dead, who died defending the portal in a magic mirror artifact to try to save y'all just a few more minutes without the Dragon Lord being in your reality. You betrayed his disciple, your sister Venus, and now you've betrayed Splinter's best friend. Like in the first TMNT comic, when you betrayed Splinter's wife, you got a Turtle Death Squad sent after you. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened.
When you disrespected Splinter like that. You're gonna disrespect your dad on his best ass astral plane friend.
Yeah.
And you think that's the fork's gonna come out clean on that? Like, no. Like, it's bad. But no, it's fine. They lay down. Raph says a line, no more negotiating with vampires. Almost like, yeah, that was nothing ventured, nothing gained. Am I right? But we learned. And they sleep. They put the heart next to Venus. Venus wakes up and she giggles softly at it, going, oh, I still have the heart. Like, I still got it. Like, what the fuck?
There
what
you
is
go.
That? Like,
and there's that.
Like, I hate to say it because, like, I'm sorry. I'm going to kick it to you. I've been talking for a long time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. But I agree with everything you said. It does feel very weird that they would do this. And I like a lot of, for lack of a better term, the heart of the story. Like there's I like the idea of it totally, but I think that this is just something that could have been done in a better, cleaner way without making it like where they betray her. Now, having said that, I'm also we're looking at this show as 40-year-old men who have had experiences in life where we've done something that might have been like in poor taste, or we might have done something that offended somebody, even if we thought it was with the best intentions, and we learned from it and we tried to move on and not make that same mistake. Now, granted, if the Teenage Mutant part of the title was still here, I could make that argument, but these are no longer teenagers theoretically, and given their history with just living, they make these decisions on the regular. And so betraying Splinter is one thing. That's your dad. I get it. There's a little bit of rebellion. But as someone who comes in that is the only other person of your kind, like you, and that you want to show them such disrespect. And after all, you're ninja, which, take out the idea that ninjas were assassins and stuff like that. Let's just say that you are physically martial arts trained, you have a sensei kind of thing that has honor, and there's a lot of honor spoken in your house. The fact that this would be your first resort, it seems strange. If they would have made, like I said earlier, if they would have given you some other kind of thing that like added a what's the word I'm looking for, like they added some sort of urgency to them being like, no, here's the balance we're trying to reach, instead of just holding on to this for 48 hours and letting the vampire just die and go away. We're just going to go try to
if they had a defendable position, it's different.
Right. Yes. Like if it was like, these vampires are out here just, they're killing everybody out here. They're just turning everybody into vampires.
Yep.
They want the heart. They know that. Okay. It is a bargaining chip. Okay. We get Venus.
Yes,
I get it.
Yes. There's two ways to look at it. Yeah. Right. If there was a situation where there's two ways to look at it, Venus says, look, if we just hang tight, the vampire dies anyway. Also, personally, to me, it means a lot.
Right.
And then Raph or Leo or anybody says, look, though, like you're saying, like, like dozens of people an hour, lives.
Yeah.
Like how, like 48 times 12. That's how
Yeah.
many lives are on our hands. We need to stop this. And Venus is like, no, sometimes you have to crack some eggs. But like, I'm saving millions of people by waiting 48 hours because you're going to lose because vampires are like goddamn wild.
Yeah.
And like, we can't handle them. And Raph would be the guy who go, oh, I can handle them.
Yeah.
I'll work this deal out and we'll just stop it right here. Who gives a shit? Also, a little bit, but then you can't even have that because like their whole plot line here is they don't care about, like, Raph's trying not to be involved in human matters anyway.
Right.
So like you can't even have that defendable position. Like he literally wants to betray humanity for the safety of his people when he's only had one encounter with the vampires and they got him to fall into the carnage pit, man. I don't know. They don't seem that threatening to me.
They don't.
Like,
and they didn't make any well, at this point we don't know that they're after the turtles or Mei Chai, Venus. We don't know that at the point where all of this decision has been made. Like we don't know.
I don't think that they picked it up. Like I think that when they fight the first time, Van Mee does say something like, I think just when her and Venus are fighting, kind of like,
okay,
you're Shinobi or whatever.
Okay.
Like, but that's loose. And like Raph obviously has no memory of that now because he's not even worried about that.
No.
He just doesn't want the vampires, I guess, to come down to the sewer after the heart. But yeah, it like not to take all your time away. I was saying like, yeah, like I agree with you because if there was another angle like you're talking about, you go, oh, so like sometimes you gotta do what you think's right. And we have two ways of being right here. And no matter who you agree with, like you could also kind of agree with Raph for what he's trying to do. I can't find why, besides the turtles fractured off from their family and decided we're going to betray everyone else.
Yeah.
It feels really bad.
It feels really bad because they don't necessarily
feel good.
They don't learn the right lesson here.
Thank you.
Yeah, they do it and it's almost as if it didn't happen, but like they might realize
the wiser.
They might realize that, oh, maybe we do need to be more patient. But like if they would have leaned a little bit more into the patience angle, considering how much they've said about it these two episodes, I think that which is a weird thing to think about, that we've reviewed 2 episodes tonight. That's kind of weird to talk about.
Yeah, no, it feels
like,
good.
My brain's kind of like, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, like if they would have done that would have been fine or better at least. Loved the vampires, thought they were fantastic.
Absolutely
Loved Bone Steel. I loved him from the get-go. I think they're doing him right, and
they are.
He is doing the wild game hunter stereotype, like Kraven the Hunter and other characters like that, doing it right, and that's how he needs to be thrown into these stories, and excellent. And
awesome scene with him and Bing. I love that.
Totally.
That was so good. Did not expect it. I was really surprised by it.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, besides the turtles' disrespect with honor, I really have enjoyed these 2 episodes. I thought they were pretty neat. So
yeah, I thought so too. In general, like I love the new villain. I love that it's a 4-part series, and maybe some of our criticisms about what the turtles did, maybe they learned that lesson next episode. Maybe we're not giving it enough credit. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe no one's the wiser now. But maybe the next time they encounter the vampires, they'll say like, "Oh, yeah, like the red one that came to us with a deal." And Venus is like, "The red one with a deal? What the hell?" And maybe they end it going like, "Yeah, no, that was like really stupid.
Yeah,
like, and we shouldn't have done that to you or whatever." So I guess we have to give it a little grace there. But no, love the 3 of them, the little vampire trio. Oh, yeah. So cool. Love Van Mee's like over the top, like very Frankenfurter, like in her lonely despair. And I love that Chi-Chu and Bing just like being like, "You're pathetic." Like that's just so good.
I love it.
Anytime a show kind of made for kids or middle-aged kids featuring the turtles can throw on like layers, where like characters aren't just black and white or just very standard villains or whatever, I'm always about that. I'll always be about that. So I had a really good time. I'm looking forward to the next 2 episodes.
I am too. Sure. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and Let us know. Did you enjoy this? Do you like vampires? Are you a vampire? Are you a wild game hunter?
Devils, let us know.
Do you do you talk to your do you name and talk to your guns about all the turtle things that you're gonna get when you get some real money? Let us know.
Yeah.
turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. Send us any questions, answers. Send us answers if you have any answers for anything. We like
yes,
answers.
and absolutely answers, and it definitely be like cooking up for the chef special that we're probably going to do next Thursday.
Yeah.
About turtles come out and fight spoopy Halloween horror people.
Yes. And so do that. And then, you can follow us on, you can find our show on turtlesoupshow.com. That's the home of the internet. And you can also find us in the Facebook group for Turtle Soup. A lot of the Turtletarians are there. It's a good place to be. Turtle Soup Show with the underscores on Instagram and here on YouTube. If you're here, please like and subscribe. Helps us out a lot. We appreciate it. If you're not here, just come and subscribe, and then you can go home. You can not be here. But we're very close to being at 500, which we need to get that like quadrupled. 100 times tripled, 10 times, whatever words. But let's just try to see how many
over the cliff. Let's get it.
Yeah, get us there. And then we're going to make more milestones. And, and then your name can go down in history as part of our Turtle Soup family. And if you want to do that, you can, to ensure that, you can go to patreon.com and find Turtle Soup's Done Been Making a Podcast for over 10 years. And you can sign up, throw some pennies our way. Make sure your name will be in the annals of history. And among the greats that we call Patron Ranger, we call them family. They keep us from saying clang. Your role in this life will be greatly more significant by joining our Patreon. And history will remember you well, as will we. And we'll mention your name at the beginning of every show, or a show, among other rewards. And
on a rotating basis.
On a rotating basis.
Go. You're gonna come back like a bad penny. You know what I'm saying? but a good penny. A good penny for us.
Right. And then so if any of that sounds good to you, patreon.com. Check us out, Turtle Soup Show. And until next time, else time.
Else time, boys. Bye.
we're back.
Hey, everybody.
Oh man.
What's up, everybody?
What's up? Oh man. Got a lot going on in chat.
I gotta tell you something really fast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, tell me.
So there is an extension on Google Chrome that lets you do dark mode on Google Drive, and it's like the best thing ever.
Oh, nice.
Like it turns your Google Docs into like black with white text. It's like the coolest thing ever.
That's neat.
Yeah.
So I prefer dark. We showed Pat in our band dark mode on his phone just in general, and he was like, "Oh my god, thank you so much!" And
that's so
as
good.
You should be, because like it's amazing. But yeah, goodness gracious. Preston,
there's a lot of
says Green Death NyQuil, which is what Ryan refers to as peanut butter.
That's what peanut butter tastes like to me.
Oh, because I said Reese's Monkeys, like Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Monkeys,
or Reese's peanut butter. That's why he said that. Okay.
And
Wilson with feather animals in a cage on a rooftop equals sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
There you go. And then his contributions for I thought that was a title. Was the spontaneous orgasmic combustion? Am I right? Like, I mean, I don't know. The way Donatella was smiling, like, I might have to watch some videos. You know what I'm saying? Or listen to some.
What about without honor, you got no family. Without family, you got nothing. How about that?
What is that? That sounds like a quote. I mean, because it's in quotes on here, obviously.
It's in quotes. Yeah.
It sounds like a Fast and the Furious quote.
It does,
but
it actually really does.
Yeah. And then he tries to summon forth the avatar of John Coach Klein Clemens, but I don't know where John is tonight. But still, he is missed.
I was messaging with him earlier. He said he couldn't get on. I was telling him like, "Oh my god, thanks for the Bishop business and stuff," and he was like, "Yeah, I can't log on, so have a good show." I was like, "Hell yeah."
Real quick, did we talk about the Dark Crystal? On the show, I can't remember if we did.
I don't think we did.
So my wife and I put it on. Well, I came home from work the other night, and my wife put it on, the original 80s Dark Crystal. Yeah. I'd never seen it. I knew it was Jim Henson. I kind of equated it to what's the Bowie movie? Labyrinth.
Oh, the Labyrinth.
Yeah. They kind of have a similar spot in my head. And we put it on because, and then I come to find out the reason why we did was because a friend of ours, we were going to go see them. They were kind of like being in costume at this thrift store that's in another town that we were going to go check out. And they were dressed as the antagonist of the show, the Skeksis, cool. I think. And so Shannon's like, I've never watched this movie. Let's watch it. And Ryan, I'm not a big movie person generally. Everyone in my band is. I would kind of consider you to be, but to a degree, I think. Although I think you're more of a TV show guy, which is usually where I fall too. But even still, like I'm usually on the lower end of that spectrum. And so I don't have a lot of strong opinions about things. But Ryan, like it was like probably 11 at night. I put in the band chat, I was like, just Dark Crystal blows, and that's it. That's all I put. And every member of my band,
that's something to put across the bow right there.
Are huge movie guys, like the Preston, Mike, and Michael McDonald's and Pat. They're huge movie dudes, and so just from me, the non-movie dude.
And I'm sure you were like ritually sacrificed after that.
Oh, almost. Yeah. Thankfully, your boy
and quartered.
Yeah. Michael McDonald's and Pat, they both were like, "No, what are you talking about? Like, I love that." And I was like, "Oh, but did you see it as a kid?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay, there's that." Father Preston said that he has owned it for like a while. Like he's physically or somehow he's owned it. And either every time he's put it on, he's ended up doing something else and not watched it, or just haven't watched it since. So that's probably very telling. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." But then, it turns out that it seems like a lot of people who watched it when they were kids liked it and still do.
Yeah.
However, my wife and I love Muppets. I love Henson. I just could not get behind it. Have you seen it?
I've seen it a long time ago. It's not a movie that's in my rotation.
Right.
I missed it as a kid. Mm-hmm. So like there's that. I saw it more like in my maybe late teens.
Oh, okay.
Like early 20s maybe.
Yeah.
But even then I was like, I like some of the aesthetics of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
but it can never just find a rotation, like part
Right.
of my rotation. So
Right.
I feel a little bit ambivalent about it. I'm a little bit like, yeah, like there's parts of it that are really neat.
Mm-hmm.
I think like killing the horse in the beginning is pretty like epic, and like people kind of remember that, like how like sad that scene is.
Killing the horse. Are you talking about
When the horse
the
is
Neverending
sucked in the
Story?
mud, that's Dark Crystal, right?
No, that's Neverending Story. But I'm glad you said that because Shannon said the same thing in the sense that she said that this has very
I thought that was Dark Crystal.
no, that's Atreyu and I forget which one's the horse and which one's the kid. But no, there's no humans in the Dark Crystal.
That's right. There's no humans in Dark Crystal.
Yeah,
That's okay.
yeah.
Yes,
But you're not wrong.
I am.
They're
playing that.
they're
That's true.
very similar. But Shannon, my wife, her point was that they can make good movies like this. That's in this same vein of like fantasy.
Yeah.
But this just was not a good movie, and I just did not like it, and I was very beside myself. I did not understand.
Yeah. You didn't think that you'd have that feeling about it.
I didn't think I'd be that strong about it. I thought I might be like, it was fine, it was all right, but I was like literally.
I might
like,
need to
no,
rewatch it or something.
this blows.
Yeah, because now
Yeah, apparently,
it's pretty good.
some friends of ours
Pretty good.
that are a little older than us, they saw it as kids, and or like when it came out, and they were like, "Oh no, I appreciate it." And then apparently there's a new, like, serialized version of
They
it.
made like a sequel to it or something like that on Netflix, I think.
And apparently that's hit or miss, but mostly it's decent from what I hear. And but I was just so I don't know. I just thought I hadn't felt that strongly in a negative sense about a movie since I think The Master, but that's because David, our friend David Malibu, told it like hyped that movie up so much, the Joaquin Phoenix one, and it was to the point where like I couldn't it wouldn't live up to it. So and it did the opposite. But I know we've talked about that movie.
I saw The Master. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I saw that in the theater because I was such a big fan of P.T. Anderson, and
right,
and There Will Be Blood was his
likewise
previous movie, and I went and saw it in the theater, and it was good, but I think I always asked myself walking out of it. I went and saw it with Shane, and we talked about it afterwards. I was like, was I just expecting There Will Be Blood again?
Yeah,
and it's not that.
No.
And was I the problem?
Right,
with that movie?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
And I think I could have been, but I think partially it didn't obviously grab me like his previous film did. So
right. And then real quick, and then we'll name the episode and get out of here. Who was the guy that the Haunting of Hill House? Who's the guy that did behind those movies? Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan.
So
the show, those movies.
Sorry, I keep calling it movies. I'm at that age, dude. I'm calling things.
You're at that age, and it's killing me a little bit. I'm like, son, it's a show,
dude.
Let's go, bro.
I've been calling things programs. It's bad.
No, don't say programs.
Dude.
Oh my god,
it started as a joke, and now I can't stop.
No, it's real. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, I said something to Shannon, my wife, the other night. We were watching Fall House of Usher, and I was like, Flanagan's kind of like the horror version of Wes Anderson, because he uses all the same actors, and some of the shots that he gets are very weird, establishing shots and like very strange things. And I was like, oh, I kind of like that. Like that's kind of like a neat analogy of direct. It's not like obviously one for one, but
yeah.
There's something up there, and I just wanted to throw that out there and see if I was off base, but based on your reaction, I think
I love Mike Flanagan.
Yeah,
a lot. No. You're there for sure. Like he can do things like that. He is just so gifted at everything. Like it's kind of wild. Like I said this on How We Season. You can check my stats. I think that The Haunting of Hill House is it's on my Mount Rushmore of television. It is one of the best shows ever made on about almost every angle.
Yeah.
It's faultless.
Yeah.
I tried to stick through Midnight Club.
Okay.
Did you ever see that?
I did. I liked it.
Joe?
I did.
Okay. I think it was me.
Okay.
It was good, dude, and I'm digging it. I think I was in a really morbid place. So the idea of like all these like terminally ill people and kind of like what's going on with them and like their origins and stuff.
Yeah.
I loved it, but I think it was kind of getting me, kind of
That's
like
true.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Like I tried to watch the beginning of Breaking Bad, like I think maybe like a year, maybe like when it was in season 2 or 3 and like the hype's really big for it.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, no, I'm gonna watch it. And the first like 3 episodes gave me a panic attack each episode.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. It was something about the way it was
I
shot.
get it.
It was done really well,
Mhm.
about how sick he was and his like his family, and like I just couldn't.
Right.
So I think Midnight Club was me and where
Yeah,
I
no.
was.
I get you.
But like did you watch Midnight Mass?
I watched, I think, half of it, and then we just didn't finish it for some reason. Something else came up or something. I don't know. But
Midnight Mass is definitely, I feel like, his most like navel gazy show.
yeah.
Like it's really just about like the Mike Flanagan feelings and the things and
Yeah.
the huge dialogue, large monologue moments.
Yeah.
Really liked that, and I really want to see Fall of the House of Usher.
Did you see Bly Manor?
No.
Okay.
I can't explain why I didn't watch it, except I had a block on it
Mm.
because somebody told me, well, it's kind of as good as Hill House, but not as good as Hill House.
Mm-hmm.
And it was his like follow up, and like I got stuck where I'm like, I need to pause. I don't know if I can watch it because if it's not as good as Hill House, that's gonna be weird.
Okay.
But I really want to watch it.
I'll tell you, I watched it, and I get that's a valid reason why not to. I totally get that. But I enjoyed it, and the ending kind of had me kind of feeling some stuff, and I was like,
Good.
man, it stuck with me. And
I
I
love him. He is mentioned. This thing happened, and I need it to actually happen. Where he was giving an interview and just out of nowhere just dropped some shit about the Dark Tower books. Like he just straight up said like, well, I thought the Dark Tower with Idris Elba, like love Idris Elba, love Maddie Mack, but like it was just trying to do too much and I would definitely approach it different. And the person interviewing him was like, oh, basically said, why are you telling me this? More or less. I was like, okay. Yeah. He's like, I don't know. I was just thinking about Dark Tower. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Then it came out a little bit later that I guess King had given him his blessing to do it.
Mm.
And then it was talking about being done on Amazon. And I'm like, because Fall of the House of Usher completed Mike Flanagan's contract with Netflix.
Yeah.
It is largely kind of, the best known unknown that he's going to Amazon.
Yeah.
Like after Netflix. Like he's like, that was his last show for Netflix. And Amazon was tied to this Dark Tower shit. Then the third piece of the puzzle, the third piece of the Horcrux was he literally just openly was asked about it and goes, yeah, I have a lot of ideas. We're working on it. And I want it to be a series, a show with movies. And I'm like, oh, you have to do it because he could do it. He could do the Dark Tower. He could totally do it. I have more faith in him than I've had in anyone that wanted to try.
Yeah.
And I need that to happen for me.
Yeah. The only
just
thing,
for me, really.
The only thing that about him using the same actors, they're all good and I like them. The problem is that I like them so much that they're not so different from, I mean, they are and they're not in the same sense.
I agree.
It's just, it's a little different because it's one thing to see like, you know, Wes Anderson take Bill Murray and turn him into a character or whatever that's different or some other character. But like in comedy it probably happens differently with comedy too. But yeah, something is a little weird there. However, that doesn't take away from how good it is still. That like you said, that's a me problem. And
like I mean, like Kate Siegel alone, his wife, is so good. She's just so good.
Yeah.
Like her is like Theodora in Hill House. She's so good. And then she's like just amazing in Midnight Mass as well.
Yeah.
Like a different kind of character, but like still, yeah. I'm interested to see now that he has this kind of people, if he'll take them over in a Dark Tower situation, like who they would be.
Right.
Characters. I'm very interested in that.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested in naming this episode.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm into.
So M actually
looks like my Flanagan. We use the same 4 episode titles, just reworded over and over again, and that's basically what it is.
You know? What can you do?
Spontaneous orgasmic combustion is a is a fine episode title. My only issue with it is that it says the orgasmic part on the nose.
That's true.
And
you
it
don't
just
want to
feels a
orgasm
little.
on the nose.
No. That's how you get AIDS on your face.
Zing.
Can't have that.
No.
So yeah.
Another good name is Hummer Wednesday. Like, what the hell? Hummer Wednesday. What else did we talk about?
Or maybe we talked a lot about lids.
We did.
Like the lid thing was like a motif that we got into.
That's true.
I do like the spontaneous combustion thing. Like that was pretty great.
I mean,
spontaneous something combustion. We could take the orgasmic out of it to like kind of like not have it on the nose, but you could put something else in there.
Yeah.
But I feel like spontaneous Hummer combustion is like another,
It's another euphemism, yeah, but you know, that's true. I could bleep it out. I could bleep orgasmic out.
Yeah, but then you can't. I guess you could do it in text too, but it would be all right. It was funny as hell. I mean,
yeah.
And maybe I'm just being too much of a prude now. I feel like
no, that's
8 years ago we would have just said it.
Yeah, but now on an audio podcast, it's different.
It's different, and I'm trying to be just a little more clever.
Sure.
As time goes on, I'm trying to be a little bit more like, can we just not say like something that wild in the episode title, but still get it across? Do you know what I mean? Still get the the point across. But it seems like more of like a challenge that way.
So I was listening to the old episodes, and I forget the context, but one of us mentioned going number 3. And I was wondering if like that could...
Oh my god, dude!
And I was dying.
Oh my god!
But I was wondering if like we could work that in there, like, but I don't think we can. Spontaneous number 3 combustion. Dude.
Oh my god! I forgot.
Go number 3.
I forgot all about that, dude. I forgot all about going number 3. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Hot tape. Turtle soup goes woke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. You know, I've been running for being canceled because of what we've done on this show basically now about a quarter of my life.
Yeah.
So, like I'm like maybe at the same time, yeah, it feels like one of those things where like so it feels like one thing that you brought to my life, Eric, was I always aspired to be more clever with my humor, but often would like find just very plainly said things extremely funny.
Yeah.
However, I remember meeting you and starting to have more of like I felt like I could be cleverly funny and aspire to your style of like comedy.
Yeah.
Where sometimes it is just like it is on the face. It is just literally AIDS on the face, and that's just funny to say that.
It's just weird, yeah.
But sometimes you got a little of that like that little like clever edge. And I always felt like that elevated my game.
Oh, sure.
And now as time goes on, I'm kind of like I find value, more and more value in the cleverness.
Right.
So that's kind of my reasoning. Yeah. But I mean, spontaneous orgasmic combustion. Spontaneous.
So the problem is orgasmic, right? Like that's none of the other words of the problem. So,
well, and also I'll just say this: like it's a funny phrase, and like I would use it because it's kind of funny. But like the orgasmic doesn't actually pertain to what we riffed on a lot in the show the episode,
except for it got us on the chuckle bus. That definitely happened.
It did, and then for that reason, it's hilarious.
But we did talk about lids.
I mean, maybe we just run with it. Fuck it.
We did talk about Hummer.
We just run with it.
Hummer Wednesday is also a good one too.
Hummer Wednesday is a good one.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, I gotta find the other image.
It's more innuendo, but at least it's.
But at least it's topical. Like at least, I guess this is too.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone ready for some?
Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday Night Adventure is what it says. But what's the Hummer thing? It's Hummer Night.
They say Hummer Wednesday. It's on one of the things.
It says Hummer
Night.
Hummer Night, and then the next thing is Wednesday Adventures in the next like screen cap.
Oh, we conflated it.
Spontaneous Hummer combustion. That's not bad. I'm like trying to do the old Turtle Soup where we just riff off the. So I was gonna be like, oh, Hummer Lovin', like Summer Lovin', but Hummer.
Oh,
Lovin'.
Hummer Lovin'.
Got it. I could just do spontaneous O combustion. People know what that means. People know what O means. Let's see what else we got. Lids. We could just call it lids. Just lids on lids on lids.
Yeah.
Turtles betray with honor.
Seriously.
Yeah. The thesaurus was no help. I like to return. I like to return this thesaurus. It was no help.
Yeah, it was no help.
Let's see. I thought I wrote down more stuff, but I guess we didn't.
There's no you riff like written a couple riffs or some of the things you noticed like
that's what it was.
Overgrown cooters.
Yeah, just some
stuff
weird
like that.
Yeah, because he did say that. Oh, you Tarzan me pain. Oh, if I had a hamster, I'd name him Danger. That's right. We didn't even talk about that. Oh my God, that's beautiful.
Spontaneous dongasmic combustion.
Oh, that is excellent. The spelling just, yeah.
No, it did.
That's
just,
beautiful.
It threw another innuendo in there.
That's
somehow you're like it's like M. You think you're helping,
right?
You're not helping. You're not helping.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, they also do like the skating and stuff too, which we talked a lot about.
Right.
There's Bone Seal. He was a big one in this one.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, I don't know. We did talk about
Hummer Wednesday and the spontaneous dongasmic combustion boys.
I love that. I think that should totally be it.
That'd be so goddamn stupid.
That would be
Hummer Wednesday. Hummer Wednesday and the spontaneous dongasmic combustion boys.
Oh, that's excellent. Hummer Wednesday just has like a ring to it. Like, oh, Hummer Wednesday. Yeah.
Hummer Wednesday does have a ring to it. There was like a glow disc game. Oh, yeah. There was Dong-tastic.
That's beautiful.
Dongasmic.
Let's see. Is there anything with Unchain My Heart? Like
Hummer Wednesday. If it's Wednesday, you know what it is.
Right.
Unchain My Heart. Unbreak My Heart.
Unlid My Heart. Oh man, I'm not coming up with anything.
We might just have to go spontaneous dongasmic combustion, but what we do is we put a hyphen between don and gasmic.
There we go.
And we separate it, but you can kind of know what it is, and it's kind of funny.
There we go. I like it.
So you can say like, spontaneous dongasmic combustion.
Right.
And that sounds better, but if you read it, you go, oh, that's funny.
Because people say
I'm
things
down
like
with that. I'm down with spoken.
Yes.
It's one way, and the intention is one way, but the intention on the next level and next layer of the onion is the other intention is for it to be that way.
Precisely.
Like I'm all about that.
It's layers. I get it. But people say eargasm and stuff like that all the time now. So,
Yeah, I thought that came from Outkast.
Did it?
Right.
I don't know.
Drop there goes an eargasm.
Oh, it might. I mean, they definitely said that. Obviously, no. I remember, but
I've heard the phrase eargasm used. Like, oh, that's it's an eargasm, like I saw or something.
I just didn't know that it was from them, but I mean, you're right.
I thought he was
in that
trying
song.
to maybe he might have been saying orgasm. The more I think of it,
Yeah, I don't know.
which is just a funny way of saying orgasm. But you can say it on.
Oh, I'll call him after the show. I'll call Andre after the show.
Oh, you're gonna call? Oh, it's Big Boy, but yeah, call him.
Well, I don't have Big Boy's number. I have Andre's number, but he has Big Boy's number, obviously.
I don't know about that.
Oh yeah, nowadays, who knows?
Big Boy may have changed that number since then.
That's true. There was a Key and Peele sketch about what happened to.
Oh yes, I love that sketch where they're like in the coffee shop.
Yeah,
dude, that is so good. They played them perfectly. It's genius.
It's excellent. All right, so
yeah,
spontaneous dongasmic. Are you gonna say dongasmic or dongasmic?
You gotta put like a verbal hyphen in it. Spontaneous dongasmic.
There you go.
Like,
okay.
I can do it if I'm the hot hand.
I think you got the hot hand on this one.
Yeah. 312.
All right. Let me see here. Hold on one second. All right. Turtle Soup episode 312.
Spontaneous dongasmic combustion.
I liked it.
Put a space between dongasmic and combustion. I didn't intend to.
Yeah, but I think it's still
another gap.
I still think it sounded good. The combustion, if you can rush the combustion part, like tie that more in.
Spontaneous dongasmic combustion.
I think that might work.
Like rush the word combustion,
yes,
or close the gap between gasmic and combustion to
close
make it
the gap.
Like
close the gap between those two. Yeah.
The way I ran that, I was so focused on the dongasmic that I put a gap between that and combustion. I didn't intend to.
Right. No, I get you. So
yeah.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Turtle Soup episode 312.
Spontaneous dongasmic combustion.
Excellent. That was chef's kiss right there.
Wait, the spelling makes it worse.
Yeah.
Oh,
it totally does. But
that's pretty great. Oh my God, man.
Well, it's about to be a Hummer Thursday, if you know what I'm saying.